Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome inside Memorial Gardens for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Championship, featuring the Peterborough Petes and the North Bay Battalion. I'm your host, Derek Lindemann, and you are listening to Battalion Hockey on the Frontline. Today's pregame show is proudly sponsored by...
The pregame show is brought to you by La Herda Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit LaHerdaImports.com for more details.
And welcome back to Ben Sargent to the pregame show and the broadcast. You'll be joined momentarily by Matt Sukram for the call of tonight's game. Peterborough gets here after knocking off the Ottawa 67s in 6 games, and the Battalion coming off of a tight 7-game series in which they defeated the Barrie Colts 3-1 here on home ice Tuesday night. How do you see this series setting up?
Well, it was very close. A lot of people thought this was going to be a North Bay Ottawa final. It was very close to being a Barrie Peterborough final, but obviously North Bay doing a great job. Kyle Jackson leading the way. Kyle McDonald with game-winning goal in Game 7, and all of a sudden here we are for yet at least 4 more games of OHL hockey, and like the ice is brand new, all repainted. They've got all these new advertisements and logos on the ice, so you can really tell that there's a lot of branding going on here being the finals. And you know what? This is going to be their 2nd straight trip for the Battalion to the OHL finals, and they're hoping that it goes a lot better than their last time.
Let's get right on that. The Battalion getting swept last year in the Eastern Conference Championship 4-0 to the Hamilton Bulldogs that went on to eventually win the OHL Championship. How much does that experience pay in this series, knowing that Peterborough hasn't been to a championship championship round since 2016-17?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very important. I think the last final that they had last year was really important for a lot of these key guys. Now, they have some turnover. Not everybody comes. We look at guys like Zito and Bloom and Hislop and Ertel who come over who weren't there for that Hamilton series. But you still have a lot of guys like the Nelsons and the Jacksons, the DiVincentises, and the Arnsbys, these guys who are very key to this team that have that experience, and they were able to go in, and they are a much better team this year. They have Adam Dennis did a great job going out in the offseason and during the season as well to pick up some really key additions that gave them a lot of depth. I've said it before and I say it again. The Battalion are the best team, I think, in the Ontario Hockey League when you look at them on paper with the depth they have on forward. And interestingly enough, ever since Sinise Mathurin made his return in the last round, the Battalion and Peterborough both going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that momentarily. A few similarities between these two teams. Last year, the Peterborough Petes also losing to the Hamilton Bulldogs in 4 straight, although it being the first round that year. And the last time the Peterborough Petes were in the Eastern Conference Championships was 2017, falling 4-0 that year to the Mississauga Steelheads. Last time these two teams met in the playoffs was back in 2016, and it was the North Bay Battalion taking that series in 7 games. And I think this series is going to be just as tight as it was back then.
I imagine, and if you look at the season series as a total, the Battalion swept the season series. They're winning all 4 games with pretty much handedly a couple of games, the first 2 games of the year, 3-1, then they won 3-0, and then finally at home, if you remember during that 11-game win streak to end the season off, they won 5-3 in a very tightly contested game. And out of all the 11 games, probably the one game they might not have deserved to win either, because it was a very good game. Here's the thing, Peterborough went out and they got a couple of big additions this season, and they had a great playoff. They swept Sudbury. I thought Sudbury looked really good going to the playoffs. They did a great job going from that, playing North Bay in the first round, getting to Sudbury, getting past Mississauga to play Peterborough, and they ended up getting swept in 4 games. Now, Sudbury did make it close. It was good, hard-fought games, and Broussard played well in net, but it's tough when you have one of the best goaltenders in the league, and this is going to be a battle of 2 of the best goaltenders in the league. And how about Peterborough going into Ottawa and taking it in 6, and really should have taken it in 5, but they blew a 4-1 lead in Game 5. So Peterborough is a hot team, and the North Bay just can't take them for granted.
Yeah, Peterborough seems to be coming on at the right time after some additions at the trade deadline. We'll talk more about that. But one of those players that they did acquire at the trade deadline is featured tonight in our Players to Watch that are brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Tonight for the Peterborough Petes is former Hamilton Bulldog Avery Hayes. Came over at the trade line, brings that championship pedigree with him. He's leading the Petes in goals, 6 goals in the postseason. Meanwhile, for the North Bay Battalion, Kyle McDonald, 12 goals in 13 games in the postseason. He's picked it up, and he's one of the reasons why the North Bay Battalion got past the Barrie Colts in 7.
Well, if you look at Avery Hayes, as we talked about, he was picked up alongside with Gavin White from the Hamilton Bulldogs rate at the trade deadline. Huge acquisitions, and again, second, as you said, leads the team with 6 points. Second in points to Brennan Othman, who another guy they picked up back in November as well from Flint. But Avery Hayes has 6 goals, 4 assists. He's been absolutely on fire. Donovan McCoy, another guy we have to watch, who has 5 goals right behind him. But I think Hayes is going to be a big part. One of the guys we haven't really talked about a lot is Owen Beck, who Montreal Canadiens prospect, hasn't quite had the playoffs that I think he expected that he'd have, but I do not take him out of the running either. He's going to be on that top line, but that second line of Robertson, Hayes, and Othman, you got to be careful. That's going to be a big line. I think we talk about Brant Clark having to be shut down in that Barrie series. I think those are that line there is going to have to be that big shutdown line, and expect maybe a Van Steitzel, Arnsby, Tarasevich, that line to potentially be that shutdown line that Ryan Houlihan pairs up against. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Kyle McDonald got 3 goals in the last couple of games, all power play goals. You don't know where this guy is going to be on the power play. He's scoring goals from that bumper position. He's scoring goals from the low circle on that one-timer. He's a player you really got to watch out for. 12 goals in 13 games, unbelievable. And that's what we thought we would see from Kyle McDonald, and he's really heated up since getting that entry-level deal with the Dallas Stars.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's not even unbelievable. It just feels like it's normal at this point. Kyle McDonald's been an absolute beast when it comes to scoring goals, and again, for 18 points, 6 assists to go alongside those 12 goals, so he's putting up some assists as well. He's not just a one-trick pony with the goals, and McDonald's played absolutely fantastic. Again, game-winning goal against Barrie in Game 7. He's had a couple of big, timely goals for the Battalions in this playoff series, and he's also had a couple that just missed the net as well. Kyle McDonald has an amazing shot. He's the best goal scorer, pure goal scorer on this team, and he's shown it ever since he came over last season, and he's been absolutely fantastic, and you bet that he's going to be a huge reason if the Battalion move on into the OHL Finals.
One of the things that was brought up in this week's scrum with Ryan Houlihan was the lack of production from that second line of the North Bay Battalion, or so you say, that's on the paper. Ertel, Jackson, and Bloom recording only one goal in this series against the Barrie Colts. And Ryan Houlihan expressed how he's not worried about it. He's expecting them to produce in the long run, and he thinks that line is going to heat up, and it could do some damage here against Peterborough.
To be fair, Jackson's goal was a really big one that ended up tying the game in Game 7, so you can't be too bad. But as you said again, Bloom looked like he turned a big corner in the Mississauga series, looked very good in that series, but couldn't find the back of the net, as you said, against Barrie. Justin Ertel, he's had a lot of bad luck, it seems. He's been all around the puck, he's had his opportunities, and he just seems like whenever he gets that opportunity, he just can't bury the puck. And of course, Kyle Jackson, we've seen him in flashes where he's been able to find that resurgence of what gave him 83 points in the regular season, and we've seen him have that really great shot. I think it's just consistently getting him in those scoring opportunities and allowing him to take those shots. And again, the way that they've played on the penalty on the power play has always been something that's been a topic of conversation in the regular season. A lot of his goals are going to end up coming via the power play, I think, and that's going to be a big way that he can also pad his stats a little bit. But 5-on-5, I think that's going to be a big line. If they can get that line rolling and putting pucks in the back of the net, that could be a big help for the Battalion.
5-on-5, a very key thing in this series. Peterborough, the least penalized team so far in the playoffs, only picking up 26 penalties in 10 games, so they're just getting under 3 penalties a game. North Bay did a lot of their scoring in the power play, especially in Game 7, getting 2 goals with the man advantage. 5-on-5 play is going to be really important in this series.
As you said, and it's kind of like the opposite of Mississauga, where we felt like it was going to be special teams weren't going to be a big deal, and they ended up being a pretty big deal in that series. I don't know what to expect in this series. I don't know if we're going to be seeing. I don't think it's going to be as scrappy as Barrie, but both teams have that physical presence as well. So don't be surprised if maybe with tensions heightened again, Peterborough, this is new territory for them as well. They haven't been to the finals since 05-06, which was when they last won the championship. So it's been a while since they found themselves back in this spot. It's all going to be about playing discipline, and I think that, as you said, Peterborough's done a great job so far. So 5-on-5, hugely important, and it's gonna really come down to how well I think the depth of each team is going to play out.
Yeah, when looking at the Peterborough Pete's lineup, you don't see the depth that we've seen in either Barrie or the North Bay Battalion lineups. You recognize names on the top 2 lines and maybe 1 or 2 on the third. Defense depth doesn't appear to be as deep as they're going with the 11 and 7, but they do have some offense output in that top line. Lockhart getting a hat trick in that 6th and deciding game in Peterborough, and Owen Beck, one of the top face-off players in the OHL, and Chase Stillman, who the Petes acquired last year at the trade deadline with the Sudbury Wolves.
Yeah, and you look down even at that third line, and you look at Avon, Dubois, and Melee, and Melee's had a pretty good start, 4 goals already, no assists, but still with 4 points. And then you look at J.R. Avon, another guy, 8 points, 3 goals. So if they can find a little bit more scoring from that third line, and we talked about depth scoring with the Battalion, guys like Dallin Wakely, he's been able to put the puck in the back of the net as well. With 5 goals, 7 points. Romani has 4 goals. Pasquale Zito, probably the most unsung hero offensively for the Battalion from the forward side. 5 goals, 9 points. And what about, you look at the defense, Ty Nelson, another guy, he's on a 10, he's got points in 10 straight games. Even though he hasn't been as aggressive offensively, and he's playing a much more, not that he hasn't played discipline before, he's always been a disciplined defender, but he's really focusing on playing good, solid defense. He's still putting the puck in the back of the net, he's still getting points. And I'm telling you, secondary scoring might be the big difference maker, and that point has to go towards the North Bay Battalion.
Definitely. And the addition of Tania Smith-Ern returning in Game 4 in that last series of the Barrie Colts, going with 70, allows Houlihan to kind of manage his time getting back into it. He seems to be getting better and better every day. It's kind of like the last series. He was still in training camp mode, and this is starting to be the regular season for him. He's getting hotter and hotter. He's going to be a much different player in this series.
Yeah, and Houlihan has been mixing him around a little bit. He's gotten some time with his old partner Nelson. He's going to be starting today with the line with Brustowski. But again, his Hoff's going to be in that equation too, where he's probably there's going to be a rotation on that left D, so it's going to be interesting to see where the matchups go where. But at the end of the day, as you said, Mathern's going to get brought in. Unfortunately, it's Ethan Procession who's the odd man out, who ended up getting a couple of points in his rookie season as well, and a pretty good start for his playoff career. But at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting to see how both these teams manage the 7 Ds.
And you brought it up once already, goaltending duo. Michael Simpson for the Peterborough Petes, Dom DeVincentis for the North Bay Battalion. Two workhorses for their respective teams. Dom leading in almost every category in the OHL this year. Wins, save percentage, goals against average. Michael Simpson did have one on him, and that was most saves in the regular season. Two top goaltenders who are going to be looked upon to make those key saves when called upon.
Well, if you think that Anson Thornton had a good series against for Barrie, which he absolutely did, he really stood on his head in that series, much as Dom did at times as well. This is going to be another goaltending clinic. I'm going to say that don't expect a lot of high-scoring games. Because I said that, I'm sure today's going to be like a 9-8 game or something like that. I don't know. But don't expect some low-scoring games in the series, because when you look at it, Simpson has played 3 less games, obviously, than DeVincentis, because they haven't gone as deep in series. But 241 goals against average versus DeVincentis, 232. And if you look at it just in general, both goaltenders are absolutely 929 save percentage for DeVincentis, 920 for Michael Simpson. They're basically the same goaltender. But this is where the Battalion have the advantage in their goal scoring, is they have very good goal scorers who know how to finish. Kyle McDonald, Kyle Jackson, Anthony Romani, Dallin Waitley, guys who have shown that they can finish their shots. That's going to be absolutely critical.
Since it is game 1, Ben, any predictions for this series?
I said this on the podcast it came out today. I think it's going to be Battalion in 6, but this first game is going to be crucially important. And I think at the Battalion, unlike what they could do in Barrie, where they dropped the first game, ended up splitting, the Battalion are looking for a big win, start things off right, and try to go for the home-and-home sweep here on Sunday.
I like 6-2, but I'm going to go a little different with taking them in 7. While we're set up here in the broadcast booth, teams are on the ice. This burn is packed to the rafters again. The next voice you're going to hear is Matt Sukram with the call tonight's game, as you are listening to Pete's Battalion on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside Memorial Gardens. I'm Matthew Sukram alongside Ben Sargent and we are set for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. North Bay and Peterborough, and Ben, for North Bay, it's round 2. It's a chance for redemption. They were here last year, swept at the hands of the Hamilton Bulldogs, looking to do a little more damage this time around against the Peterborough Petes. And you know this team all season long said this is the minimum round that they want to get to this season. So really, if you look at it, they haven't accomplished any of the goals that they've set out for them so far this year. Tonight they get to start with goal number 1.
And they're going to be facing two guys on the other side that they faced last time in Avery Hayes and Gavin White, who both played for the Hamilton Bulldogs last season. But last year, the Battalion came in as an underdog. They weren't supposed to be as good as they were. They had a great season. Some would say they overachieved, but here they are, now the favorites, and coming into this final, and it's going to be such an important game, but I think it's going to be good.
Puck is dropped, and we're underway for Game 1. Peterborough win the draw. They dump it down the ice, whip it around on the far side boards. Picked up on the far side, sent in, and DiVincentis stabs at it and turns it aside. Puck goes around to the far side. That's Beck. He lost it. It's poked up to the line, but kept in the zone by the Petes. Going into the corner. Lockhart looking for it. Picked up on the stick, and now it's sent to the line. Picked off by Petrov. Petrov with the speed down the edge on the breakaway, shoots, and it's a save made by Simpson. Net is knocked off by the back-checking defender of the Petes. And so we'll have a stoppage in play. 31 seconds in, and Petrov almost put the Battalion on top.
Well, if you thought that the Barrie series was frustrating with Anson Thornton in net, get ready for more frustrations, because Michael Simpson, as we said in the pregame show, is as close to Dom DiVincentis as you're going to get. They were neck and neck in a lot of the stats. They both have very similar playoff stats coming into this. DiVincentis, 232 goals against average. Simpson, 241 goals against average. DiVincentis, 929 save percentage, and 920 save percentage for Michael Simpson. So this is going to be a game of goaltenders, and again, depth scoring is going to be critical, and I think that's where the Battalion have the advantage coming to the series.
Face-off won by the Petes, and immediately they send it to the line, but they cannot clear. All right, either it did clear or it touched somebody on the bench. No, it looks like they said it did clear, and the Battalion inadvertently went offside. So,
well, again,
stoppage in play.
Well, we talked about Avery Hayes, that line of Robertson and Hoffman, that's going to be a big line to keep an eye out, as they're going to be the big scoring line for the Petes.
Face-off won by the Petes. They send it down the ice. Inside the North Bay zone, Christopoulos trying to fire it out. That gets blocked by Robertson and goes to the far side. Now brought back up ahead by Van Steensel. He sends it down the right wing for Arnsby, and Arnsby dumps it down into the Peterborough zone. Picking up the puck there is Govro, former North Bay Battalion. He lost it, and it's sent to the far side with the Petes carrying it up. They send it back to the near side, and it's sent out to the neutral zone. Stopped at the blue line. North Bay trying to send it the other way. That gets blocked, and now it's dumped into the North Bay zone. In behind the net, Hayes takes a hit. It goes to the far side. Picked up there by Ertel. He sends it over to Van Steensel in the neutral zone. He turns it over. Coming in is McCoy. He pushes it past Winslow. Winslow takes a hard hit on the boards by Hoffman. Centering pass, and they score! What a shot there from Mali. And the Petes strike early in Game 1.
Well, you're on the road in game number 1 of the finals, and that's exactly what you want if you're Peterborough. As but a minute and a half into this game, it's just a little pass out in front that Melee gets and just puts it right by DiVincentis. Not a lot of chances for Dom to get in front of that one. And that's all you really need to do is just give up a little bit of room, and they're going to make you pay. And that's kind of, again, we talk about depth scoring. Melee's on that third line with Dubois and Avon. So it's a big starting goal for the Peterborough Petes, and it's going to be a very interesting way to see if the Battalion are going to come back and answer back. We saw Petrov very early on with a great opportunity that Simpson stopped on one end, and just like we saw this in Barrie as well. Barrie came out really early. I believe it was game 1 or 2. I think it was game 2. They came out with a very early goal. The Battalion immediately answered and ended up going up 4-1 going into that third period.
So every goal in this series is going to be subjected to review.
They're looking at the offside,
but they might be looking at the offside on this one, and that's why it's taking a little bit longer. We've got Ken Cox, who's the supervisor of replays. He is in the building, and he will be doing all those in-house tonight. We've also got Ken Miller, the supervisor of officials, so in case there's any kind of controversial play or anything like that, they've got an extra guy on there. Meantime, there are 2 extra officials in the dressing room as well tonight in case anything happens to anybody on the ice. You've got a linesman and an official in the locker room that are ready to go and on standby just in case anything happens.
Well, and they don't mess around as soon as you get to the finals. We've got new graphics on the ice, new sponsors on the ice. They got new board advertisements that are all fresh. Everything looks super fresh as all eyes are on the battalion here and the Peterborough Pizzas. Again, there's 4 teams left in the Ontario Hockey League. Sarnia, London being the other 2, and with the winners facing off in the finals. And they
so
say
it's officially the play is under review, but as soon as it was announced here, they said it's a good goal. So there you have it. The Peterborough Petes come out with a 1-0 lead, and that's exactly, as you said, the way you want to start if you are on the road, if you're the Peterborough Petes.
Well, it looks like Battalion going offside as Rattel's not able to keep the puck. Or sorry, Mathurin not able to keep the puck. We haven't seen him all year, so seeing number 5 out there is a bit of a change for the Battalion, but a welcome change. Is very, very good defensive defenseman. Had a huge year last year. Unfortunately, lost a year of development this year. Already has a point in the 3 games that he played.
The Petes have scored the first goal of the game 5 times in the postseason, and they're 4-1 in those contests. They swept the Sudbury Wolves in round 1 and took care of the number 1 seed Ottawa 67s in round 2. So play underway here. Malie, who is the goal scorer of note for Peterborough, sends it through the neutral zone. Blocked by Ertel, and Ertel throws a big hit on Peterborough's goal scorer, but he gets right back up, had control of the puck. Now he lost it at the blue line, and North Bay will play it back to their own end. Hislop across to the far side. Mathurin dumping it down the right wing. It's deflected and goes into the zone. 17:45 to go in the first period. 1-0 Peterborough lead. Bringing the puck up ahead is Beck. Drops it to Avon. Avon coming in over the blue line. Getting the shot in. It's deflected off the stick of DiVincentis. Across to the near side. Sent back to the far side. Picking up the puck are the Petes. They're centering. Dropping it back to the line. White comes in and sends it just wide. Picked up on the far side. Now sent behind the net. That's Stillman there. Stillman is battling along the corner. The puck goes. It comes to the half boards. Now it goes back towards the net. Stillman takes over for Peterborough. Sends it to the corner. Now carried back down. It's Beck. Beck looking to center. Lockhart backhands it in. Save made by DiVincentis. 1-0 Pete's lead with 17:06 to play.
Well, the Battalion are exactly where they would think that they'd be coming into the playoffs when they first started off against Mississauga. The Peterborough Petes, on the other hand, had a huge series against Ottawa. In fact, could have won that game in 5 if they didn't blow a 4-1 lead. And the crazy thing is, this is the first time since 1999 that there has been no top seed in the conference finals, as Windsor was also knocked out of the playoffs in the first round by the Kitchener Rangers.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? That it's been that long since 2 number 1 seeds haven't made it. Playback underway inside the Pete zone. Arnsby holding it along the glass, trying to get out of that corner area. Gets knocked away from the puck, and the Petes bring it out. Dumping it down the ice. Winslow is chasing, gets held on the boards. Picked up behind the net by Christopoulos, sends it to the near side, Van Steensel, and he dumps it out. And they're going to call a high stick on that play as it crossed the Petes blue line. 16:31 to go, 1-0 Petes.
Well, the Petes obviously a lot further than they thought they'd get, as, again, you look at them when they're up against Ottawa, a team who's been very good this season. And Peterborough's a scary team right now because they have absolutely nothing to lose, very similar to how North Bay was up against Hamilton last season. They were in a spot they didn't necessarily think that they would get into, and for Peterborough, this is a huge, absolute huge chance to get some great playoff experience.
North Bay dumped the puck into the zone. It's up to the far side boards, and the Petes are looking to clear. Wakely throwing a couple of hits there against Avon. Wakely wins the puck, going to the goal line, trying to center it. Kicked off a skate into the corner. Picked up on the half boards. Now sent to Wakely. Wakely centering it again, but it's knocked off a skate. Goes back into the far side corner. Pete's in control there. They go behind the net, send it back to the corner, and now they dump it out of the zone. Hislop in the middle, tries to play it ahead. Dubois blocked that and dumped it down. 15:48 to go as the Battalion look to bring the puck forward. Dumped down into the Pete zone, and now the Petes will bring it forward. Maillet coming in, taking a shot, and DiVincentis makes the save. Picked up on the near side by Zito. Into the neutral zone. He gets it on the stick of McDonald, but it's not clean off of his stick quickly. McDonald gets it back in the neutral zone and plays it forward. Govro battling for it there. He turns it aside. Chased down the ice by Nelson. 15-10 to play. Nelson racing in over the blue line, drops it back to Zito. Taking the shot, and it's stopped in front of the net. Play back to the near side boards. The Pete's in control. McCoy dishing it out to the left side. Back across to the right. Stillman over the blue line. Shot in. DiVincentis makes the save. Then Beck comes back in from the slot. Takes a shot and scores. Owen Beck gives the Petes a 2-0 lead. Not even 6 minutes into this game.
Well, Owen Beck, we talked about him pregame. Montreal prospect that just hasn't had as much success as he thought he would have going into this season. Only his 4th goal of the playoffs, but this is just a sloppy play by the Battalion in their own slot area as they're not able to get the puck out. They leave it wide open for Beck, who makes a really nice shot high in the top glove corner on DiVincentis, and DiVincentis getting kind of hung out to dry a little bit by his defense. A little bit of sloppy play by the Battalion in front of their own net, and all of a sudden they're down 2-0 early on.
2 goals on 7 shots. And the Troops in a hole here in the early going. Pete send the puck in towards DiVincentis and deflected, but a save made by DiVincentis there. 2-0 Pete's lead, 14:27 to go.
Well, the Petes have a little bit of there's a couple of guys on this Pete team. Their captain and their assistant captain, Sean Spearing, Tucker Robertson, and J.R. Avon, all were part of this 2019-2020 Pete's team that was absolutely on fire. And unfortunately, just like the 94 Expos, their season got derailed by the COVID pandemic. Well, not because of the Expos, but the COVID pandemic. And here they are now a couple of years later.
Out of the zone, chasing it down the ice. Tarasevic taking a shot, save made. And the puck just left in the slot area. Arnsby was the first one in, could not get the shot off, and the Petes will clear it out of the zone. 14:05 to go in the first period, 2-0 Pete's lead. North Bay looking to bring the puck out of their zone. Van Steensel down the left wing, fires it in. Off the end boards, a shot coming in, and Arnsby sends it wide. Ricocheted off the glass and sent down the ice. Lukin takes a hard hit from behind. There won't be a call coming there. Got hit right in the numbers. Puck comes to the near side boards, and North Bay will get it out. Very quickly, the Petes back up to the blue line, turned aside, and North Bay sends it down the ice. Peterborough from behind their own net, send it forward. North Bay in the neutral zone, trying to play it back up as they pick off the puck. They lose it in the neutral zone, and they're chasing it now into their own end. 13:15 to go in the first period. 2-0 Pete's lead. Nelson down the middle, gets around one defender, but then can't get past the last guy. It's taken away from him and sent down the ice. Chasing that towards the North Bay net is Hislop. Going into the corner, now down the half boards. Picked up in the middle of the North Bay zone by Jackson. He drops it back to Nelson. He fires it up ahead to Wakely in the neutral zone. Wakely comes over the blue line, puts it towards the net, turned aside by Simpson. Into the corner now, Jackson's there. Down the point, Hislop. Back down the left wing side. Jackson over, skates the puck, and that will be picked up by the Petes and carried out of the zone. Sent towards the net. DiVincentis makes the save with 12:35 to go. Puck stays in play as it goes to the far side boards. The Peterborough Petes in control as they send it behind the net. Stillman down the point. McCoy with a shot. That one stopped. Loose puck in the slot. Picked up there by Hislop, and he'll clear it to the near side boards for Jackson. 2-0 Pete's lead with 12:15 to play as Jackson brings it out to the neutral zone. Now he'll drop it back behind the blue line up the left wing side for Romani. Romani racing to the far side boards. Lost the puck on the poke check. North Bay get it back in the neutral zone. It is Petrov who has it. Down the left wing. Petrov coming in. He gets poked off the puck by McCoy. Puck ends up behind the net. North Bay's there. Looking to center it. Gets on the stick on the right side to Zito. Zito takes a shot. That gets stopped. Now it's McDonald. Behind the net to Petrov. Petrov whips it around to the near side. At the point, that's Winslow. Winslow dishes it down low. It's blocked by the Petes. And the Petes will be able to carry it out with Tucker Robertson leading it ahead. Shot coming in from the left wing, and the shot is blocked by DiVincentis. 11:31 to go. Petes ahead, 2-0 in the early going.
Well, the Battalions just haven't quite got their passing game going here in the early parts of this hockey game, as they're finding the Peterborough Beats doing a good job pretty much getting their sticks in all of the passing lanes, all the shooting lanes, and the Battalions just need to find that passing game here in the first half of this hockey game if they want to try and get some more scoring chances. They've only got 3 shots on net and really haven't put a lot outside of that opening drive by Petrov.
Yeah, easily their best chance of the game so far was that play. Off the draw. It got cleared, sent back into the zone. North Bay turn it over. Paget to the middle. And that one is turned aside. Good chance there, but now North Bay going the other way. Poked off the stick of McDonald as he came over the blue line. Got the puck back and sent it wide of the net. Puck goes to the near side board. Shot coming in from Bristowski goes wide. Picked up on the far side by Hertel. Hertel gets pushed off the puck, and coming out of the zone is Beck. Beck's got one of the goals tonight so far for the Petes. He sends it in. That one is stopped by DiVincentis. 2-0 Petes lead. North Bay looking to clear the puck. They get it to the neutral zone but can't complete the pass. And the Petes will pick it up and send it back into the North Bay zone. Lukin skating down the right side. Pushes it in along the right side boards. It's behind the net. Goaltender Simpson out to play it. Sends it off the far side glass. And that ends up on the stick of the Peterborough defenders. And they clear, but shot right back in by North Bay. Again out of his net, Simpson plays it to the far side boards. This time Jackson's there for North Bay. But he gets the puck poked off his stick by Avon, and it's sent down the ice. Jackson chases it, feeds it back up to Hislop, now to Bloom over the blue line, taking a shot that goes high. Whipped around on the far side boards, now back to the near side. Jackson wide open, feeds it in front to Bloom, and he gets stopped on the doorstep. 9:56 to go, 2-0 Pete's lead. We'll take a break, and then Derek will join us from between the benches. We'll be right back.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
Welcome back. Derek, not the way of the Battalion. We're looking to start game 1 here, down 2-0, about halfway through.
No, not the way you want to start if you're the home team with home ice advantage. They do get an early chance. Petrov getting a breakaway as he's turned aside. But to me, the big difference is the team speed. Getting through the neutral zone. Peterborough's getting through with no problems, entering the zone with tons of speed. Whereas North Bay seems like they're skating in quicksand uphill and not able to get clean entries into the zone. And to me, that's been the big difference in this first half of this period, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was, I think, one of the big factors that helped them in their victory against the Barrie Colts, is they were able to utilize that speed and get the Colts on their back heels a little bit throughout that 7-game series.
It's going to be an interesting way. The one thing that the Battalion do really well, though, is they do a great job at adjusting in between periods. And I think that's what they're going to have to do here. They're going to have to figure out, okay, this is how Peterborough's playing them, and Ryan Houlihan's job is going to be how to communicate to his team to counter the way that they're
Centering pass, Tarasevich sends it off the glove of the goaltender Simpson in the corner. Now down in the blue line, back to the right side boards. North Bay trying to play it to the net, gets knocked off the stick of Arnsby and sent down the ice. That was another golden chance. They've had a few now on their last couple of shifts. It's still 2-0 for Peterborough, though, with 9:30 to play. And the Pete sends it around to the near side boards. Maillet's back there. He tries to send it behind the net, and it's blocked by Arnsby, and Arnsby carries it out in front. Dishes it off to the right side. Now down the middle for Winslow, and he'll dump it in with some speed. Simpson behind the net. Sends it to the right side boards. Now back around to the near side. looking to play that puck. It's Tarasevic. He gets it knocked away from his stick. Picked up by the Petes and sent right back down the ice. Stillman sends it in. Save made by DiVincentis. Now North Bay pick it up. It's Bloom to the right side. Erdl over the blue line. Ertel coming in. Taking the shot, goes wide. Glove side. Hard ricochet off the boards. It comes out to the neutral zone. The Petes pick it up. It's Beck coming in. Beck down the right side in the corner. Now behind the net. Coming out in front. He fans on the shot. And that allows North Bay to pick it up, and they will get it clear out of the zone. 8:30 to play. Pete's ahead 2-0. Jackson sending it up the middle. Ertel dumping it into the corner. That's being chased by Spearing. Spearing is being pushed behind the net, but he is manages to get the puck to the near side, and that allows Malee to dump it down the ice. Malee opened the scoring here in game one. And now the puck gets shot over the boards and out of play. 8:09 to go in the first period. 2-0 here for the Petes.
Well, you mentioned this coming out of the break, but the Petes are doing a great job of putting the Battalion on their heels. And the Battalion right now they need to get that rhythm back. They're passing, as I said earlier, not super sharp. They're not finding their men. They're putting pucks into the open parts of the ice where nobody else is. And I have a lot of faith that the Battalion will get there, but it might just take a little bit of time. But 2 goals is not a huge lead that they can't overcome. So I wouldn't be too worried if I'm a Battalion fan.
No, the Battalion were the highest scoring team in the OHL playoffs so far. So certainly 2 goals, nothing to be afraid of. And we've seen them come on better in some recent shifts now. Here come the Petes, though, into the attacking zone. They get pushed on the boards, and now the puck is ahead to Wakely. 30-goal scorer in the regular season. Wakely sends it down the ice. It's gloved by Simpson. And they will finally call the whistle there.
I think they blew it before,
okay.
But yeah.
That was a weird one.
Either way, though, again, as you said, I don't know how much they're thinking about the last playoffs, the last time where they got swept, and maybe the Battalion trying a little bit too hard at this point to try to make something happen. They've got a lot to prove, and maybe that's in the head a little bit. But again, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Ryan Hullahan talks to his team into the break, and how I expect them to come out firing in the second period. But if you're the Battalion right now, 7:30 to go, just try to get one by Simpson, make this a 2-1 game, and kind of get yourself a little bit of momentum going into the next period.
And again, both these teams have something to improve. As you mentioned off the top, this Peterborough team has a couple of players that were part of a championship caliber team back in 2019-2020. And they're looking to...
and they're now the leaders of their team.
That's
All
it.
3 of them captains or assistant captains.
Sent out to the neutral zone. And sent right back in to the North Bay end with 7:04 to go. The Petes ahead, 2-0. It's Zito picking up the puck, coming down the ice, going in front of the net, backhanded chance. It's stopped, but the puck stays loose. Another shot on net. That's turned aside as well. Picked up by Othman, and he sends it out to the neutral zone. Stillman there, and he dumps it down to the North Bay end. 2-0 Pete's lead, but that lead was almost cut in half. As the troops bring it back forward again, Zito sends this one back in towards Simpson, and he'll just glove it down for the stoppage in play. 12 shots to 7 in favor of the Petes. 2-0 lead with a 6:31 time limit remaining in this first period.
Well, Zito had the right idea coming down on that breakaway. He comes in from the near side, tries to get across. Unfortunately, he doesn't allow himself to cut across all the way across the blue ice and hit the open net. What happens is he ends up shooting it right into the body of Simpson, who already was committed down on the ice in the butterfly. So if he maybe waited a little bit longer, then that puck squirts loose. And unfortunately for Petrov, who throws back out in front, he throws it right into the body of Simpson.
6:25 to go as the Petes win the draw and send it back into the North Bay end. It's DiVincentis poking that one away. Puck comes up to the near side boards. Tarasevic trying to get it out. He's hounded on the boards, and the puck goes back to the far side. Nelson there for North Bay, trying to feed that one ahead. They get it up to the line. Arnsby is through the neutral zone to Tarasevic. Tarasevic over the blue line and dumps it in along the end boards. Arnsby's back there, centering. The shot is blocked right on the stick of Van Steensel, who then throws a mighty hit to knock the defender over. The puck comes back out to the neutral zone. Hislop in the middle. Now dropped back for Hislop. All the way into the middle of his own zone. He gets it up to Jackson. Jackson down the left wing side, looking to center it to Hertel, and his shot is bounced off a defender in front, and it goes wide. Bloom on the half boards, holding on to it there. Bloom knocked down. Penalty coming up against the Petes. At the line, Mathurin, left side, Bloom, through the middle, back to the boards to Mathurin. Shot coming in, stopped, and then the chances sent wide of the net, but Jackson picks it up back there. Sends it to the right side. Hertel is there. Hertel, who's had a pretty strong first period here. He sends it to Mathurin. Shot coming in. And that hits Bloom in the head. And he goes down in a heap. And that's going to draw a whistle. So cross-check will be the call against Peterborough. Going to the box, I believe Sean Spearing. And Bloom is being helped by Andrew Satchku to the box, to the players' bench.
But he did it by himself.
And he did it by himself, yeah.
He was limping a little bit, and unfortunately, friendly fire there from the point as he took a shot. I believe it was Petrov's shot who ended up getting him up high, and hopefully Bloom will be all right. But we talked about the Petes being an extremely disciplined team, which they are. They've only been on the penalty box 26 times in 10 games, and they've killed up 88.5% of those. We're going to get a chance to see a Battalion power play, which had a big Game 7, by the way, in the third period against a very good Pete's penalty kill.
28.6% on the power play so far in the postseason. That's fourth in the OHL and second best out of the teams remaining, only trailing the London Knights by about a percentage point. Nelson over the blue line to the right side, and they go offside. And you're right, the power play came up huge for the Battalion in Game 7. 2 power play goals in the third period.
And we highlighted the Bloom Jackson Hertel line. Unfortunately, only 1 goal in that series against Barrie, but a huge goal it was for Kyle Jackson on the, and it wasn't 5-on-5, it was on the power play, so that line still no 5-on-5 points, which was one of the things we talked about coming into this game, but this would be a big power play here for the Battalion to kind of get back and cut the lead in 1.
1:30 to go in the power play. 2-0 Pete's lead with 4:30 to play in this first period. Petrov down the middle to the left side. It's Zito sending it around to the far side to Petrov. He plays it back down low. It goes off the end boards and then redirected right to the goaltender Simpson, and he'll freeze it again there. And I've noticed Simpson has done that a lot in this game. I mean, there was pressure there, so you probably don't want to play that puck out, but
he might just not want to give them any chances.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
To give it up. Peterborough's playing a very good defensive game as well. They're doing a great job defensively in the high slot area, and the Battalion right now, a lot of their passes, unfortunately, are not finding any intended target, and they're really not getting good chances. McDonald gets tied up there with a Pete player in front.
Shot out as the Petes win the draw. So Nelson has to chase it. Drops it back to Petrov behind their own blue line. Now he brings it forward. He finds Zito. He comes over the line. Zito to the far right side. He's being pressured on that puck. He got held a couple of times, but no call there.
Battalion fans not happy about that non-call.
Up to the line again. Zito whips it around to the far side boards. Puck stuck on that far side now with a couple of players looking to dig it out. They do, but it gets past Nelson at the blue line, and he chases it down into the neutral zone. 3:35 to play in the first period. North Bay down 2-0. They've got the man advantage for another 25 seconds, and that might give them one more rush up the ice here. Nelson up ahead to Wakely. Wakely over the blue line. Drops it back and now sent behind the net. Picked up back there by the Petes as McCoy looked to get it out, but that got blocked. Now back behind the net. Govro is there. And a bunch of guys digging away as time is running down. And the officials will blow the play down. So Spearing will be in the box for another 2 seconds. North Bay will have one more offensive zone advantage, I believe, unless they're bringing the puck out of the zone.
Yeah, unless they're saying that they held it on purpose. But very quick whistle. We usually don't see a whistle that quick from the referees. But there's a different era around this game. It feels like they're like the referees are more vocal in this game. There's a lot more hand motions happening. You can tell that they're taking these assignments very seriously, as there's a lot of eyes and a lot of attention on these games.
North Bay win the draw, but there's no one there at the line to pick up the puck. So Hayes gets there for the Petes and dumps it down the ice as time expires on the power play with 2:55 to go in the first period. North Bay ahead 2-0. Puck comes to the near side of the North Bay zone, is picked up by Winslow, looking to get it out of the zone. He does. Hoffman hunts it down in the neutral zone, turns and sends it down the right side. Robertson over the blue line, stops, turns, looks, and sends it into the corner. Winslow picks it off for North Bay. Sends it to the half boards. Back to Winslow at the line. Now he plays it across to the far side to Christopoulos. He gets it up to Wakely, and Wakely dumps it down. 2:20 to go in the first period. 2-0 Pete's lead. Peterborough getting it out of their own zone. They find Hoffman in the neutral zone. Across to the left side. Coming down the left wing is Smith. Puts it on net. Blocked by DiVincentis. Now behind the net. It's picked up by Mathurin. He's pushing it ahead. Coming down the left wing. Sends it in. That goes wide of the net. Picked off the boards by Ertel. He tried to center it. That got blocked. It goes to the boards. It's Romani picking it up. Romani moving to the middle. And then he got knocked off the puck. It's picked up by Beck. And Beck will clear it out of the zone. Coming down the ice. Stotts over the blue line. Pushes it back to the boards. Coming in. The shot scores. Connor Lockhart got a clear lane to the net. Took the shot. And he beats DiVincentis. And the Petes have jumped out to a 3-0 lead here in the first period with 1:44 to play.
Well, coming into this game, we talked about goaltending. We said it's all about finishes. And right now, the Peterborough Petes are finishing their shots. The Battalion, again, right now, they've had some opportunities, but it feels like as soon as the Battalion gets the puck, there's about 3 or 4 Petes right on them, and they're not able to do anything with that puck, and they're not getting a lot of help from their line mates to get rid of that puck and put them in the right spots. And if they're the Petes, again, they're just putting the puck in the back of the net. Like, their shots are finding holes through DiVincentis, and I'm sure that's a shot maybe he'd like to have back a little bit, as it was, again, just a clean shot in front. And all of a sudden, the Peterborough Petes are up 3-0 here in the first just over 18 minutes.
3-0 on 14 shots. The Battalion have managed 9 against the Peterborough Petes.
And again, the Battalion had that monkey on their back. They came into the finals, they got swept, and I'm sure that's something that's on the mind of some of these players who's been that before. And I think they're just trying a little too hard. They just need to play the game that they've played against Barrie. If they play the way they played against Barrie in this series, it's going to be very tough for Peterborough to beat them.
And remember, in Game 5 against the Barrie Colts, twice in that game, they scored 3 goals within about a 3-minute span. Once in the second period and once in the third. So again, this team, you can never count them out with the offense that they have. They just got to get a little more pressure going in the offensive zone. At the line, Lukin from the blue line fires it wide of the net. Picked up off the end boards, now to the sideboards. Goes back into the corner. A bunch of bodies banging away there. Goes back behind the net, now sent out to Lukin. Lukin at the line, twisting, going to the left side. Shot it towards the net. One of the Pete's defenders blocked it with his hand without his stick. And he looks to be favoring that hand as the puck goes behind the net now. Zito's there, McDonald's there. They're trying to get that puck free. The Peaches holding it against the boards. And the officials letting them go this time. A lot of pushing and shoving going on between Smith and McDonald. And now the officials will blow it down with that puck stuck there for the last 10 seconds or so. 3-0 Pete's lead. 45.1 seconds remaining in the first period.
Yeah, and you got to give the Petes a lot of credit. Like, the biggest difference in this hockey game, it's not even a chance. The difference in chances is that the Peterborough Petes have put the puck in the back of the net when they've had their opportunities, and the Battalion have had a couple opportunities. Petrov has a huge breakaway. Zito had a great opportunity. There have been a couple of chances for the Battalion. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net. And again, I think it's just a groove thing. And that's why, don't count the Battalion out yet. Yes, it's a 3-0 game. Wait to see how they play in the second period before you think anything about the end of this hockey game.
And that will be huge because the Petes have dominated in the second period in this series. They have outscored the opponent 17-5 in second periods of play in the postseason. Puck shot out of the zone, dumped down the ice, and now it's inside the North Bay zone. Behind the net, Jackson took a hard hit, but kept possession of the puck. He gets it out to the near side and dumped out of the zone. Now the Petes chasing it in their own end. They get control, and they dump it right back down. 20 seconds remaining. 3-0 is the Petes lead. sent towards the net. DiVincentis makes a save, and then it's off his blocker and out of play. 3-0 Pete's lead with 14.8 seconds remaining in the first.
If you're Ryan Houlihan, you're just hoping that nothing else happens in the last 14 seconds and you can go off to the break and regroup again. Not that the Battalion are playing terribly, it's just that, again, their passing hasn't been crisp. They haven't been able to find that groove that makes them so good. So that's going to be a big key in the next 40 minutes, and there's still a lot of time left in this game. But if you're Peterborough, you can't be any happier about that. 3 goals in the first period on the road. Against a team that you didn't beat at any point in the regular season. In a building where they're very good too. And the first period will come to an end, and the Battalion really just have to flush that one away and say, okay, let's make the next 40 minutes our 40 minutes as they trail 3-0. The Pete's getting goals from 3 different players to make that happen. Derek and Ben will break down the first period here and have more for you after the break. You're watching the Frontline broadcast right here on YouTube, presented by Average Joe's. It's game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll have more for you right after this.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we're back inside Memorial Gardens, where the Peterborough Pete's strike 3 times in that opening frame to take a 3-0 lead after 1 period of play. Let's take a look at the scoring summary as Jonathan Mele got things started a minute 28 into the game. His 5th of the postseason from Othman and Donovan McCoy. And then just 4 minutes later, Owen Beck with his 4th of the postseason made the lead 2-0 at 5:13. Stillman and Perdler with the assist on Beck's goal. And then Lockhart with just under 2 to go at 18-16 got that put the Pete's up by 3. Owen Beck with the only assist on Lockhart's goal. 1 penalty in that period, and it went to Sean Spearing of the Pete's for cross-checking at 14:56. Power plays, only the one to speak of, and the Battalion weren't able to capitalize on that opportunity. Face-off circle, the Pete's winning 67% of the draws as they've won 14 of the 21 face-offs and are out shooting the Battalion 15-9 through 1 period. One other game on tap, the Western Conference Championship Final, also kicking off tonight in London, and it's Luca Del Belouse that has the Sarnia Sting on top 1-0 through one period of play. But back here, it's 3-0 for the Peterborough Petes, leading the North Bay Battalion. I'm Derek Lindeman, joined by Ben Sargent. Ben, not a good first period for the North Bay Battalion. Do you think Nerves has anything to play in that first?
I wouldn't be surprised if there are guys in this locker room that understand they've been here before and they got swept by Hamilton. Now they are the ones who should be up 3-0. They're the ones who should be the favorites coming into this series. And yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of mental game with a couple of these guys. And you look at Dom DiVincentis, who's been absolutely fantastic all season. A couple of those goals I think he'd like to have back. Not as sharp as we've seen him before, but at the same time, the battalion defense in front of him a couple of times have not made his life easy. They've kept a couple of pucks, allowed some great opportunities from the Peterborough Petes, but Peterborough playing a very good defensive game. They're double, triple teaming, even quadruple teaming the battalion, it seems, at times when they have the puck in the offensive zone. And the battalion seem to be passing the puck right into the skates and the sticks of the Petes. They're not getting help from their linemen in the offensive zone. And it's not looking good right now. But what the battalion did, and I said this in the period, what the battalion do well is they come back and they're able to make great adjustments. And I think Ryan Houlihan is going to have a good talk with his team. And don't be surprised if they come out firing in the second period, even though Peterborough's been really, really good in second periods. Yeah,
Peterborough's been good. Couple players that kind of laundered around. Owen Beck, we talked about how he hasn't had the postseason he wanted to, and he gets 2 points in that first period, a goal and an assist. He's looked to be a nemesis in the side of the battalion.
Well, of course, because we said he hasn't been able to put the puck in the back of the net at the clip that he'd like to, and that he's shown that he can in the regular season and in years past. Of course, he's the one who gets, I believe it's the second goal of that, and also an assist on that Lockhart goal as well. And we looked at the top score right now with Jonathan Melee's goal. Yes, there's a bit of that depth scoring, but if you look at the other two goals with Beck and Lockhart, it's that top line getting all the points. And again, we did see Van Stietzel, Arnsby, and Tarasevic line up against them a couple of times in that period, as well as Christopoulos and Winslow. So you can tell that Ryan Houlihan wants his really shut down defensive, the 5 defensive guys, he wants to shut them down, that top line. But again, I think that third goal with the Lockhart, I think DiVincentis probably wants that back a little bit. Not that it was an easy save, but I think that's one that DiVincentis makes more often than not.
Yeah, you got to think he wants a couple of those back after that first period that saw him give him up 3. That's something he hasn't done much during the regular season, especially in the playoffs. But we know the North Bay Battalion have a lot of firepower. They score goals in bunches, and we've seen a couple times in that last series where they've been able to score 3 or 4 goals in the matter of minutes. And we've seen the Peterborough Petes, well, we didn't see, but on the social media that you see where they give up goals in bunches. Giving up a 3-1 or a 4-1 lead in Game 5 to the Ottawa 67s and almost blowing Game 6. Yeah. They had a 5-1 lead, only winning that 5-4. So it's really not out of reach for the North Bay Battalion. 40 minutes still to go. How important is that second period to come out and be flying?
I don't even think it's the second period. I think it's the next goal is going to be crucial. If Peterborough, especially if they come out flying in that second period, they get another goal, it's 4-0. That's going to be a tough one to overcome. But if the battalion can come out of that second period, maybe get a goal, maybe get 2 goals, go into that 3-1, 3-2. With the way the Petes have struggled in the third period with retaining leads or almost blowing leads like we've seen against Ottawa, that's where I think this game's not over till it's over. That being said, though, I think the start of that second period, the first half of that second period is going to be crucial. The battalion need to come out. They need to come out firing. They need to. Right now, it seems like Peterborough just wants it more than the battalion, and I think again it's a little bit of nerves. It's a little bit of they're getting in their head a little bit too much. They just need to play the game, and I said this on the podcast. If they play the game that they played against Barrie, not the series they played against Mississauga, if they play the same way they played against Barrie, this is going to be a 5-game, 6-game series, and they're going to outplay Peterborough. But so far, Peterborough's kept them on their heels. They've not really given them a lot of good scoring opportunities. And again, the battalion have not been putting the puck in the back of the net. There were 2 or 3 chances they had to get one by Simpson where they beat them, but they just weren't able to put the puck in the right part of the net to get it by him.
No, it hasn't. Momentum is a big factor in playoff hockey. The Peterborough Petes take out the number 1 team in the OHL, the Ottawa 67s, who have been up and down the top 10 throughout the year in the CHL standings. it seems like that confidence that they gathered by beating that team has carried over into this first period, and they've really put it to the Battalion.
And don't forget, they're a little fresher. They've only played 10 games in the playoffs, sweeping Sudbury and beating Ottawa in 6, though it should have been in 5. But the Battalion, they've played long series, deep series. Mississauga, 6 games. Barrie, 7 games. 13 games in this postseason. They didn't do a lot of practicing. When we were here in the media scrum, we were talking about not a lot of practicing for the Battalion in the last couple of days because they needed that rest. It's more important than that practice. So it's not surprising they come out a little bit flat. They almost have a little bit of a hangover. But I don't think we can judge how this game's going to go until we're sitting here in the second intermission going into the third period, because a lot can happen in the next 20 minutes.
A lot can happen. I want to ask you about the hangover. Is it possible that after a big Game 7 here Tuesday night to have a hangover after being so up for that game and coming out here maybe a little flatter? Can you attribute that to being anything you saw in the first?
I think, again, it's just we haven't seen that. I think right away we saw Petrov with a great breakaway chance really early on, but even there were a couple of chances where I think McDonald could have went for a break. He just didn't look to have the same speed that this team normally has. It doesn't have the same crispness. Again, the passes are going right into the bodies of the Petes. They're not finding the way they're playing the offensive zone. They don't have a great, they just don't seem to be in sync right now. You're seeing, again, one Battalion player with 4 Petes around him, no other Battalion player around him. And what's happening is they're not able to get good passes out. We've seen a couple of pucks go in the middle of nowhere. And it just feels like, again, as we said, it's that hangover. It's that they're not super sharp. But they've had 20 minutes to look at how Peterborough's attacking them. And again, Ryan Houlihan and the coaching staff does an amazing job of making big transitions. We've seen it in the regular season. How many times have we said the first half of the game, they didn't look too sharp, they come firing in the second half of the game? I think it's going to be the same thing here, but if you're Peterborough, you got to be very wary that the Battalion are going to come out firing in the second period.
Yeah, it's just strange how you said that about how they seem to fire up for the second period and kind of a lull in the first, because down between the benches I was talking to Tom Martin and I said this feels just like a regular season game where we see the North Bay Battalion fall behind early and have to come from behind and struggle throughout the game to get back into it. This time they've given up 3 to the Peterborough Petes and have a bigger hill to climb. Yeah. And I got to think, when I'm down there at ice level, the team speed out of the Peterborough Petes just seems to be a notch above of what the Battalion faced against the Barrie Colts. And to me, I think that's one of the big differences that the Petes have on either of the 2 opponents the North Bay's already knocked out.
And again, I would not put any, if we're talking about series are 7 games. They're a long time. Even if the Battalion end up looking the same way throughout the whole game, don't put any credit into how this game will affect the rest of the series, because again, if they play the same way that they've played, this is not the Battalion team that you're going to see later on. Again, I think a lot of that has to do with rest, and a lot of that has to do with how they've come out firing. But that being said, you're down 3-0, and you're not playing Niagara, you're not playing Sudbury, you're not playing Oshawa. You're playing against one of the best goaltenders in the league in Michael Simpson, who's very similar to Dom DeVincentis, who has looked good, but he has looked beatable. There are, again, a couple of chances where, again, we look at the Zito play. He comes down the near side, he cuts around, he has Simpson beat, but instead of going around him a little bit more and shooting on the far side of the net, he ends up shooting it right into the body of Michael Simpson. And then later that puck squirts loose, and I believe it was Petrov who shot it into the body of Simpson again. So Simpson getting a little bit of luck because the Battalion they're not finding the back of the net the way that they're usually finding the back of the net.
That power play they had in the first didn't look like we saw in the later half of that Barrie series, where they were able to capitalize numerous times. And I know Ryan Houlihan was very vocal on the bench how he was not happy with the way the team performed. That has to change, because you're not going to get many power plays.
Well, we talked about 26 penalizations coming into this in 10 games. They've not been penalized a lot, so they're very disciplined. And we haven't seen a lot of rough play from either teams either. This is quite a big difference going from division rivals in Mississauga and Barrie, right? This is a kind of a different world, and we're not seeing that grittiness. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing those
post-whistle scrums.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a different, it doesn't feel like a playoff game versus how they played against Barrie, where it's super rough and tumble. But that being said, again, it just feels like the Battalion are playing by themselves. Like they take the puck by themselves. They try to get shots and passes by themselves. They're not playing a team-oriented game right now, and I expect that to change.
So if that's the change, what's the one big adjustment that Houlihan's making coming out into the second?
That's a really good question because I think there's a couple of adjustments. I think the biggest thing right now is they've got to get their speed underneath them, but I do, and I've said this before in previous games, I think we need to see a little bit more dump and chase. They need to utilize that team speed a little bit. Peterborough's doing a really good job of, they're kind of collapsing all of their defense onto this lone battalion puck handler and not letting him do anything. They're almost smothering that guy so they can't do anything. So what the battalion need to do is they need to find passes around that. They're going to get a lot of open ice. They're going to have a lot of opportunities, but they need to make split-second decisions right away because Peterborough is on them immediately. And again, there's just a second behind. So if they can kind of recalibrate a little bit, I think it's going to be a completely different ballgame.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if Houlihan does make some adjustments and what they are to start the second period. We're moments away from puck drop to start that second, as it's the Petes leading the battalion 3-0. When we return, Matt Sucrum will take you through the second period along with Ben Sargent as you are listening to Pete's Battalion on the front line.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcast.
Welcome back. Matthew Sucrum with you here alongside Ben Sargent. It's 3-0 for the Peterborough Petes as we get up for period number 2. And quite simply for the North Bay Battalion in this period, put some more pressure on the goaltender Simpson and see if he can get a couple past him.
Well, the next goal is going to be huge. It's either going to be Peterborough going up 4-0, which might be a little bit of a dagger in this hockey game, or Battalion come back 3-1.
So 20 minutes on the clock. It's Van Steensel in the middle for the Battalion. Puck is dropped, and he wins the draw against Beck, but very quickly in the neutral zone. It's off the boards, and Beck picks it up from behind his own blue line. He starts forward, dumps it down. It's Steven Chentis on the puck behind his own net. He flips it to the far side boards. Now it's Arnsby picking it up back there. He brings it around to the near side, finds Tarasevich on the boards. Now it's back to Arnsby. He's racing through the neutral zone. Liam Arnsby, the captain, drags it behind the net, whips it around to the far side boards for Lucan. Lucan sends it in, deflected into the glove of Simpson, and he holds it for the stoppage in play. 19:30 to go in the second period, 3-0 for the Petes.
Well, big difference in the first period was definitely the Peterborough Petes finished their shots. They didn't have a crazy number of opportunities on DiVincentis, and I'm sure DiVincentis would have loved to have probably 2 of those 3 goals back, if going back and looking at those saves that he makes most of the time. But at the end of the day, it's, again, the Battalion had their chances. They weren't able to find the back of the net past Simpson.
And the puck gets cleared and then shot over the glass and out of play. So they will reset in front of the Battalion bench for the face-off.
And I'm sure that was a very interesting, would love to be a fly on the wall in that for Ryan Houlihan and his team, as can't be too impressed with his effort in that first period. And again, as Derek was saying, a little step behind. They didn't have the same speed that Peterborough had. So it looks like they go offside here.
And then they will reset again. Yeah, so North Bay obviously played earlier this week on Tuesday. That was Game 7. Whereas the Petes wrapped up their 6-game series against Ottawa on Monday. So they got that one extra day of rest before traveling to North Bay to begin the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, even being here on the media scrum day, they talked about how they weren't practicing as much. They were just focusing more on rest.
Play inside the North Bay zone. The Battalion get up to the blue line. Now McDonald out of the zone. Got up to the Pete's blue line, then knocked away from his stick. North Bay find it in the neutral zone, dump it right down. The Pete's looking to clear. They almost put it in their own net. From behind the net, Govro took a shot, and it almost went off Simpson.
That looks like an interference
and
call
now
coming
there's
up.
a call coming against North Bay. Simpson has left the net, and the extra attacker gets out there. 18:30 to play. As Spearing has control of the puck in his own zone. He finds Avon. He'll skate through the neutral zone, over the red line, over the blue line. Drops it back to the point, but then it comes up the boards, and it's touched by Zito. And that's where we get a whistle. So with 18:20 remaining in the second period, Pete's ahead 3-0. They'll be up by a man now. And remember, North Bay were the most dangerous team shorthanded in the regular season. 16 shorthanded goals, but they didn't get any shorthanded goals in the postseason.
Well, they were led by Nikita Tarasevich, and of course, I think a little bit of that had to be in the postseason. You want to take less chances. You don't want to, when you get those opportunities where it's two like odd man rushes. You only have two guys in the back end if you have two guys going up. So you got to be a lot more choosy with what you decide to do. And you can tell the Battalion. Number one, the other thing too is when your penalty kill unit's been out there for about a minute, you just focus on the change. So another thing, but we'll have to keep an eye, especially with the benches being on opposite sides in the second period.
Into the North Bay zone. It gets sent to the blue line. The Pete's in control. Zanetti to the right side circle. Shot comes in. Save made. Rebound chance. That gets blocked as well. Arsby blocking that second shot, but the captain turns it over. Avon takes a shot, just goes wide. Rebound from the left side, and that one is stopped as well. Van Steensel picks it up and sends it down the ice. 17:40 remaining in the second period. 3-0 Pete's lead. 1:15 to go in the penalty kill.
Battalion getting very lucky. Zanetti couldn't get a stick on that puck. He had a wide open net past DiVincentis as it took a bad bounce off the end boards.
Hoffman over the blue line. His dumping gets blocked by Lukin, and it's sent right back down the ice to kill some more time here on the PK for North Bay. 16 shots to 10 in favor of the Petes as they bring it back over the blue line with 17 minutes remaining in the period. It's White at the line to the right side on the stick of Hayes. The two former Bulldogs connecting on the pass there. They send it to the corner. Now back up high, and it's White again at the blue line. Stops in the middle, goes back to the right, sends it across to the left side circle. Hayes now plays it down to the goal line. Poked off the stick there. Nelson forcing the issue, tries to clear. Hayes keeps it in. Across to the right side, that is White. Playing it into the corner now. Back to the circle, Lockhart. Feeding it back up to the blue line. Back to the right side, now back up to the blue line. Walking in, send it to the right side. Shot coming in. That's high and wide, and it's off the glass and out to the neutral zone and all the way into the Pete's end. 3-0 Pete's lead with 16:20 to play in the second, and out of the box comes McDonald, but into the zone, Hoffman up ahead to Maillet, and his shot is stopped by DiVincentis. Goes to the far side boards, another one coming in, and that one just goes high. Now McDonald chips it ahead. It's on to the stick of Romani. In on the breakaway, dangles, and it's stopped in the 5-hole as Simpson stops it. Now there's a chance coming in, and Simpson is still down, so the officials will blow the play down. The Petes are going to look for a penalty here. I don't think they're going to get one. as Romani looked like he needs Simpson in the head after that breakaway opportunity.
Well, Romani comes in, and I think it was Wakely who got pushed into Simpson right after, and Wakely got a little shot in the head too after, even though he was the one getting pushed into, into the goaltender. And Romani, another beautiful opportunity, but and he has such great hands in tight, but he can't get that puck up in the zone. And hopefully, if you're hopefully Michael Simpson's okay. As you can tell, it's his neck, that's kind of what he's focusing on, and that would be a huge loss for Peterborough. Obviously, no intent from Dallin Wakely, as again he got pushed into Simpson by the defender, but that would be a huge loss if Simpson has to leave this game. As we talked about how good it is, it's very similar to if the Battalion were in that same boat with Dom DeVincentis. So could be an absolute terrible break for Peterborough, but hopefully he's going to be okay as he continues to work his neck back and forth with the trainer out there alongside it looks like Jake Dubois is also out there as well. Looks like Simpson's okay. He's going to stay.
Okay, we got Derek downstairs. Derek, what's going on?
Just taking a good look at Michael Simpson, who got crashed into by Dallin Wakely. It kind of looked like his feet were taken out from under him, and he went skate up first. So just looking at his neck area, maybe a little bit of a whiplash. We'll have to wait and see if that is a long-term injury. But Simpson back in, ready to go, and we're ready back for puck drop, Pat.
Thanks very much, Derek. And that would be a big disappointment for the Petes if they had to lose their number one netminder in the first game of this series. But he is okay, and he will continue here in the second period. Pete's lead 3-0 with 15:50 to play. The puck goes into the near side corner. Now it goes back up to the line, kept in the zone by Wakely. Wakely to the left side, back to the right side. He was just behind the skates of Romani, and he could not find it. He was in the clear, in the slot area. Now at the line, Wakely fires it in, deflected just wide. Picked up on the far side, Romani. To the point, it's Hislop. Hislop to the slot. Walking in, Jackson, save made. Mathern on the rebound, he can't bury it. Another chance by Jackson. A third chance is stopped. And then finally, it's smothered by Simpson. And now Wakely is headlocked in front of the net. Now he'll get out of that as the officials jump in quickly to break that up. The Petes lead 3-0, but the Battalion came very close to getting on the board right there.
It almost feels like this game could be 4-5-3 at this point for the Battalion. They've had the opportunities, and they continue to just shoot the puck into Michael Simpson. He hasn't made any incredibly acrobatic saves.
You're right.
He's had great positioning. Most of the opportunities, though, it's just the Battalion, instead of taking that extra deke around the pad and going up high, it just seems they're shooting it right in the body of Simpson. And again, that's a great example. They kind of clunched up a little bit too bit. If they spread out a little bit more, had a couple more opportunities, maybe it's a bit of a different game.
Peterborough win the draw and get it out of the zone. In the neutral zone, North Bay touching the puck, but now it's turned over and the Petes come right back in. Driving towards the net, now behind the net, poked off the stick, comes up to the near side boards, and Zito comes down the right wing side. Zito gets a stick slashed out of his hand, and that's going to draw a call coming against the Petes.
Oh, we talked about how this wasn't a rough and tumble game, and now all of a sudden here in the second period, as it looks like Stillman is going off, I believe it is.
Yeah, that's Stillman there.
We talked about it's been very docile in this first period, and now all of a sudden with Simpson going down, the Wakely stuff, all of a sudden I think we're going to see a little bit more of grittiness, Matt, coming into the end of for the rest of this hockey game.
15:01 remaining in the second period. 3-0 the score for the Peterborough Petes.
Huge opportunity for the Battalion again. I feel like once they can break Simpson open, I think they'll find their confidence, but it's that the goose egg's still up there. They just need to find one by him, and I think this is, again, Peterborough's susceptible to third period collapses. We've seen that against Ottawa. Still a lot of game left.
Shot off the glass and sent down the ice. Nelson chasing it. In behind the net. Now he'll come forward, sends it down the left wing. Zito over the blue line, stops, waits, gets around a defender, carries it to the hash marks, going in now behind the net, sends it around to the near side to the boards. Petrov across to the left side. Nelson holding it there, working his way down the boards. Nelson plays it back to the blue line to Petrov. Petrov looking across the zone to Jackson. He sends it there, back to the far side to Nelson. Nelson walking into the circle, takes the shot. It goes high. It goes off the glass and out of play. 1:20 remaining in the penalty to Stillman with 14:21 to go in the second period. 3-0 Pete's lead.
Well, Peterborough's playing a very good defense again. They are stopping pretty much everything going into that, what I like to call the red zone, that high slot area, basically from the blue points to the hash marks. They're not letting anything through. The battalion need to start moving Simpson east and west, get a little bit more movement, getting some shots up in the zone. If they can do that, they'll find some, they'll have some success.
Zito down low. They try to play it back up high, but it's picked off by Hayes. And he'll take his time skating into the neutral zone, drops back, and now he'll send it down the ice. Petrov behind the net will drop it back to Nelson. Nelson up to the blue line, drops it back to Petrov. Petrov starts out. Over the line, dumping it in. He follows it to the corner, whipped around to the near side boards for McDonald. He'll go back to the far side. He finds Petrov there, who sends it up high to Nelson. To the right side, Jackson across to Petrov, one-timer! And it's a save made by Simpson. Simpson got post to post very quickly on that play. Puck still behind the net. Couple of guys battling with 13:30 to play. Puck still frozen there. Pete's up at 3-0, but they're down by a man right now. Zito gets out of that scrum behind the net and carries the puck to the boards. Zito now working down from the circle. He'll go behind the net. Plays it to the boards to Jackson, who finds Nelson at the blue line. To the left side, that is Petrov. He'll come up high. Now he'll send the puck to Nelson. Up to the right side, it's Jackson. Jackson overskates the pass. Now he's trying to feed it along the end boards to Zito. There's 2 seconds remaining in the power play. The puck comes loose to the far side corner. Out of the box is Stillman. We're back to 5-on-5 play as the Petes clear the puck. So the battalion now 0 for 2 on the man advantage tonight, as it's brought back in over the blue line. North Bay coming in on side. Ertel at the far side boards. Sends it to the middle. Bloom right there, but it's poked off his stick. Picking the puck up behind the net is Beck. Beck sends it around to the near side. Christopoulos fires it in, and that one's saved by the goaltender Simpson. Behind the net, Ertel gets around a defender. Then he falls down, gets back up, trying to recover the puck. Going into the far side. Now in the corner, some pushing and shoving going on. 12:20 to go as the puck stays in that area. North Bay get it out. They send it to Christopoulos, firing it in, and it's a blocker save made. Rebound goes to the far side boards. Winslow gets knocked down, but he gets the puck to the circle to Wakely. Wakely pressured in the circle, trying to get to the line. It's picked off by Stillman and cleared.
I believe it hit
and
the
then
official. Came back into the zone.
Came back in the zone, and offside will be called. 12:07 to go in the second period. Pete's ahead, 3-0.
Well, again, the battalion have had their opportunities. They've had, this could easily be a 4-5-3 game, as I said before, even earlier before that last power play. It was Anthony Romani with a beautiful opportunity, and it just feels like right now, and I said this earlier in the period, it feels like the battalion just need that one to go by.
Face-off won by Tarasevich, firing it in. It's a save made off the pads. Puck goes in the air, comes right back down on the blue paint. Arnsby is tripped, but he gets the shot off, and it's stopped by the goaltender Simpson. What a sequence that was. Battalion could have gotten away, or could have had a power play out of that, could have had a goal, but neither of those will come. Tarasevich is hooked going into the zone, and the official just stares at him, and there's no call on that play either.
Might have felt that Tarasevich maybe held onto the stick a little bit and decided to let that one go.
Now here comes McDonald, wide open, fires it high. McDonald tripped up going in the net, no call there. Out of the zone, Avon down the ice. From the left wing side, takes a shot on DiVincentis, and he makes the blocker save. Puck comes back out to the slot, shot coming in, and that one is sent off the body of DiVincentis to the near side boards. The battalion, after killing off that penalty, really controlled the puck and had a lot of zone time, but still trail 3-0. They've really created a lot of chances, though, here in the first half of this second period.
Can't buy a break, though, unfortunately for them.
Sent back into the North Bay zone with 10:50 to play. It's Mathurin in the corner. Dumps it down the ice. Picking that one up is Smith. He'll send it back up to the North Bay blue line with Robertson and Hislop chasing into the corner. Hislop took Robertson's stick out of his hands, and that's going to be a holding call against the Battalion defenseman. And so the Petes have another opportunity to gain a 4-goal advantage with 10:33 to go in this period.
Well, the fans feeling like they've been robbed of a couple potential power plays on that last couple of trips and hooks that weren't called and obstructions. And the Petes getting the call there on holding the stick from Braden Hislop. So now again, Peterborough looking to take some advantage of their power play. And again, we talked about the next goal is going to be absolutely huge. And the Battalion have had their opportunities to make this a 3-1 game, and it would be such a dagger to the heart right now if Peterborough can find a way to convert this power play.
Off the draw, Zanetti at the line. Maillet to the half boards, into the corner, whipped around to the near side. It comes up to the line. Zanetti sends it to the slot. Nobody there for the Petes. And North Bay clear it down the ice. 10:15 to play in the second period. 3-0 North Bay lead. Check the 3-0 North Bay trail with 1:30 to play on the penalty kill for the home side. The puck goes in the near side corner. Lucan battling there for North Bay. It comes away from the area, and the Petes inadvertently split their D and send it right back down the ice. Hislop remaining in the box for another minute 15 with 9:45 to play in the second period. Zanetti forward through the neutral zone, drops it back to Robertson. He dishes it off the boards and plays it towards the end boards. Poked around in that area, and it comes out of the corner, controlled by the Battalion. They've got a 3-on-2 the other way. Hertel to Tarasevic on the left side, comes in onside and takes a shot, and it's a blocker save made by the goaltender Simpson. Now the Battalion completely in control. They play pitch and catch from the blue line, and now they send it all the way down to their own zone to Nelson. Now he sends it forward to Hertel. 2-on-1 in the zone. Hertel to the left side. Tarasevic shot is stopped by Simpson, and he gloves it down and freezes it with 9:09 remaining in the second period. The Battalion once again so close to cutting in to this 3-0 lead.
Well, Hertel decided to pass it to the long-range pass to Tarasevic, who kind of had a worse angle than Hertel had to shoot. I probably would have liked him to maybe have Tarasevic come a little bit and Hertel bring the puck down to really make Simpson have to move across. And these are the small little things that I think the Battalion just are not quite in sync yet, and they've had so many good opportunities on Simpson. And again, we're not seeing the best of the Battalion right now in this first half of the hockey game.
McCoy off the draw, up to Offman through the neutral zone. The Petes go offside. This penalty kill this power play is not going the way the Petes would have wanted it. 3-0. They are ahead with 8:57 to go. 24 seconds remaining in the penalty to Hislop.
And before you look, shots now even 17-17. The Petes have not had a lot of opportunities on DiVincentis. The Battalion, a lot of opportunities to make this a 3-1, 3-2, even tie the game up. But again, it's that finishing touch that they just have not been able to find.
Nelson from the neutral zone sends it down the ice. McCoy behind the net. He sends it forward. The Petes get it over the blue line. Whipped around the boards to the near side. Offman passes across the blue line. It comes loose out to the neutral zone, and out of the box is Hislop. And we are back to 5-on-5 once again. Zito now down the left side of Wakely, across to the right side to Jackson, coming in. He could never get it onto the right side of his tape there, and it gets knocked away and sent out to the neutral zone. Dumped back in by North Bay. Jackson into the corner. Wakely tries to help him out, but McCoy gets the puck past them, and he sends it down the ice. 8 minutes remaining in the period. 3-0. Pete's lead. Here comes Romani to the net. Takes a shot. Save made. Wakely looking to play it off the glass behind the net. Sends it to the far side corner. Now on the half boards. Brostowski fires it, and it goes wide of the net. Picked up on the near side. Now back into the corner. Couple of guys battling there. It gets flipped to the far side corner. Brostowski pitching in. Gets it. Centering in. And no one able to pick up on that pass in the slot area for the Battalion, and it gets cleared by North Bay. Mathurin battling in the neutral zone. He gets pushed down. Now it's Romani finding the puck. Coming in the zone. Romani one-on-one, and he cannot bury it. He slid it backhand, forehand, but then it was just out of his reach as it crossed the crease. Now it's picked up by the Petes, and they will come out of the zone and dump it down the ice. They lead 3-0 as they go into the offensive end. Playing it on the boards with 7 minutes to go. Brostowski finds the puck for North Bay, and he gets it around to the near side to Zito. Zito flips it back to the goal line for Brostowski, and now he sends it down the ice looking for Romani, who was a step over the blue line and offside. We'll take a break, and then Derek will join us from between the benches. It's 3-0 for the Petes.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
All right, Derek, no goals yet in this period. Both teams have had chances on their power plays. How are things feeling down there for the Battalion side, who still trail 3-0 but have had a much better period here in the second?
You can start to feel a little life coming into this Battalion team. They're playing a little more physical in this period, and with that, they've created a couple chances. You've got to like the way their penalty kill was able to kill off that penalty with getting the majority of the chances. They 2-on-1, a couple breaks. They're just not getting that puck lock and putting pucks right into the chest of Simpson. You got to be happy with the pushback, and the chances are there. They're just not getting to capitalize on any of those yet, Matt.
And we'll see if they can do that in the last 6:51 of this period. They're being out, or they are out shooting the Petes by just a shot, but the Petes have a 21-13 advantage in the face-off circle. And they've also got an advantage on the scoreboard, leading 3-0. That's really the only numbers that matter when it's all said and done. Play inside the North Bay zone. The Petes have control. They look to center it. It's off the stick of Lockhart, and racing down the ice is Petrov. He flips it up to himself, gets around Simpson, but he kicks out his toe and makes a miraculous save. What a job by the Petes netminder to keep that one out. Now Nelson coming in, and his shot is blocked. Again, a pat save by Simpson. What a job by the Petes netminder on consecutive saves there.
And he takes a huge gamble coming out of his net to stop
Yes,
Petrov,
he did.
who gets his, as the puck goes down for icing, he gets his second breakaway of the hockey game. And again, it's Simpson coming out and basically sprawling near the hash marks to kick the puck out with his right pad. And Petrov, who almost got another chance, but bumped into the referee, so couldn't quite compose himself. And again, the Battalion, it feels like they've played really well in the second period, but no bounce is going their way at all, and they just have a monkey on their back right now.
Playback underway inside the North Bay zone. They get the loose puck from the slot, and they are able to clear it. They dump it down into the Pete zone with 5:40 to play. It goes into the near side corner with McDonald in control. McDonald and the Battalion looking to see if this offensive zone chance will go their way. They trail 3-0, but it's Christopoulos now at the blue line, sending it to the circle, back up high. Christopoulos with the shot, but is blocked with a bunch of Petes in the slot area. And now they break out of the zone with it. It's 3-on-1 down the right side. They try to pass in the slot. A terrific defensive stop there by Winslow to break up the play. And now North Bay looking to go the other way. It's Zito over the blue line, down the middle, goes to the right side circle, stops at the side, and then he sends it to the corner for Winslow. Picked up behind the net as Winslow finds Van Steensel. He sends it around to the far side boards to Tarasevic. Across the blue line to Christopoulos, who falls down but shields the puck and keeps it alive. An athletic play there by Christopoulos just to keep the puck in the attacking zone. Still behind the net. Now Hayes has it. Hayes sends it to the near side point. This time Christopoulos can't keep it in. It's down the left wing side. Hayes coming in, the shot. It's deflected away and over the glass and out of play from the goaltender DiVincentis. 4:35 to go in period number 2. North Bay down 3-0 here in game 1.
Well, it's a 3-on-1 basically for the Peterborough Pete's and it's Owen Van Stiesel who comes down and really breaks that up from being a 3-on-1 as he makes a great defensive play in front of the net to tie up his man. And as you said, Winslow also there to make a great play. So really, that's the back checking is so huge in Van Stiesel. He hasn't been lighting up the scoreboard, but he's making a lot of great plays defensively and on the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. Van Stiesel, 2 goals, 6 points in the postseason so far. Playback underway as the Petes dish it around to the near side, now behind the net. Still controlling it in the North Bay zone, but the Battalion now putting the pressure on those end boards with 4:10 to play in the period. Puck still in that area. The Petes ahead 3-0 as they're trying to add to the lead here, but they get the puck knocked away from their stick, and it's out to the neutral zone. Mathurin dishes it over the blue line to Ertel. He puts it on net. Save made. Rebound. Mathurin can't bury it. It's behind the net now. Couple of guys back there. Ertel, Mathurin, everybody falling down back there. The puck comes out in front. Ertel is there. Ertel now goes behind the net. Now he centers it. That save is made, and the rebound chance is denied as well. Bloom picks it up, sends it to Mathurin at the line, across to the left side. It is Hislop there. Hislop tries to center it. Bloom was in the area, but could not get a piece of it, and it's cleared. Mathurin catches it in the neutral zone and dumps it down with 3:30 to play in the second. 3-0 Pete's lead as they've got control in their own zone. Simpson, a 10th round draft pick of the Petes just a few years ago, is having a career postseason here. Wakely gets a shot on him, but he kicks it to the far side boards, and it's sent down the ice. Nelson chasing it. Talk about draft picks paying off. That's the first overall draft pick from 2020. He sends it down the ice. It's picked up by Wakely. He plays it behind the net to Romani. Romani looking to center it. Wakely's there. It's off his stick. Romani picks it up. Sends it to the point. Across to the near side. Nelson is there. Nelson sends it to Arnsby. Arnsby in the middle gets hacked at. Falls down, recovers the puck, finds Wakely, across the right side, scores! North Bay on the board. It's Anthony Romani giving the Troops their first goal of the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's 3-1 with 2:44 remaining in the second period.
Well, the monkey is officially off the back, and what other line does it but the Wakely, Romani, and technically they don't have another winger with them as this has been a rotation. But Wakely and Romani have been all over the puck in this hockey game, and it just felt like a matter of time that one of them was going to get it. And again, finally are able to break that goose egg. And I'm telling you, man, the Battalion, when they score, they build up a lot of momentum. And I do believe finally getting one by Simpson, don't be surprised if they come out with a huge third period and maybe even get another one before this period's over with about 2:40 to go.
What worked on that play was the fact that Romani had space down low. They've got 23 shots on him, but a lot of them have come from the perimeter, and they've had some chances in that area, but the Petes have done such a good job of plugging those lanes. That time, there were no Petes to be found, and Romani, like you said, completely took advantage. Play back underway as McDonald fires it to the neutral zone. And then it's sent back the other way. Anthony Romani picking up goal number 5 of the postseason. There's a chance in front of the North Bay net, and it's sent high. DiVincentis went down glove side. The puck went up high, and somehow it did not end up in the back of the net there. Now the Petes centering to Robertson, and his shot is stopped. Did not get all of it, but it goes into the corner. Now flipped to the far side, still in the corner. Christopoulos gets it out, sends it to the middle to McDonald. McDonald down the half boards to the far side of Petrov, across the neutral zone to Winslow, and he dumps it down. 3-1 score with the Petes ahead. 1:25 to go in the second period. North Bay dump it back down, but it goes off the body of McCoy and over the glass and out of play.
Well, who else to break the deadlock? But it's Romani and Wakely, who's a tandem who's going to be incredibly important going into next season. Of course, Wakely breaking the 30-goal plateau for the first time in his career, he scored 20 the year prior. And then, of course, how about Anthony Romani, who 8 goals, all of those coming in the later half of the season last year, 23 goals. And now both these players, 5 goals in the playoff. I honestly do think when you look at the guys that are not coming back, the McDonalds, the Jacksons, those kind of guys,
that's your next wave.
I think Romani, and I said this before, I think Romani and Wakely, potential 40-goal scorers, I think, next year.
1:10 to play in the second period. And remember, GM Adam Dennis traded quite a few young players this season to pick up older guys like Bloom and Hislop. And now here's a chance in front of the net. Shot just wide. But it seems like Adam Dennis kept the right young guys around this team in Van Steensel and Romani and Wakely for sure.
And even Ethan Procession getting some opportunity.
That's right.
A couple of points as well.
Tarasevic now coming in over the blue line, taking the shot. Simpson with the save. You know, Simpson, regardless of what happens in this series, I think it's a very great story for him. Again, 10th round pick, 193rd overall in the 2019 draft. This is just his second season due to the COVID shutdown. Last year, 3.56 goals against average in the regular season, a 5.78 goals against average after they got swept at the hands of the Hamilton Bulldogs.
Yeah, a tough playoff for him.
But definitely bouncing back and having a great postseason here is Michael Simpson. Peterborough win the draw. They send the puck down the ice. Steven Chentis turns it aside, sends it in the corner. 15 seconds ago in this second period. North Bay down 3-1. They're digging away at the puck still in that corner. Now it gets moved to the half boards and stuck there again with 2 seconds. And the official's just going to let the time run down. The Battalion get the only goal of the period, and they trail by 2 now as they head into the third. And we've talked about it before. The third has been a bit of a struggle of a period for the Petes in this postseason. We'll see if that trend continues over the next 20 minutes. I'm Matt. It's been a pleasure having you. More on the way on the Frontline broadcast right here on YouTube, presented by Average Joe's. Don't go away.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we're back inside Memorial Gardens, where the Battalion do get one back in the second period, but do find themselves down 2 as they trail the Peterborough Petes 3-1 through 40 minutes of play. Anthony Romani with the lone goal in that middle frame, his 5th of the postseason from Dallin Wakely at 17-16. 3 penalties in that period. Kyle McDonald went off for tripping at 140. Chase Dillman for slashing at 459. And finally, Braden Hislop for holding opponent's stick at 9:27. Neither team able to score on their 2 power play opportunities. Meanwhile, the Petes still have an advantage in the face-off circle, winning 24 of the 40 draws so far in the contest. Battalion doing a little bit better in the second period to cut that advantage down. And the big difference, shots on goal. The Battalion outshooting the Petes 16-3 in that middle frame and have a game total of 25, where the Petes only 18. In the Western Conference semifinal, or in the Western Conference Championship, the London Knights scored 2 goals in the middle frame and now lead the Sarnia Sting 2-1 late in the second period, just under a minute to go there. And again, back here, I'm Derek Lindemann, pleased to be joined by Ben Sargent. Ben's been on the broadcast all night, no rest for Mr. Sargent.
No.
As he's been here. Little different play. I thought the physicality really helped the Battalion, as the Petes seemed to shy away from it a bit and coughing up pucks, and Battalion taking advantage in the offensive zone.
Well, what did we say in that first intermission? That hangover, that they looked a little slow, and I'm telling you, Derek, they looked a lot better in that second period. You look at the shots on net; they way outshot they almost put almost 20 shots on the board in that first in that last period. They looked much sharper. They could easily have had 4 or 5 goals in that period. They had so many good opportunities, and I think that Romani goal is huge to get that monkey off their back. And we talk about the Battalion and momentum. As soon as they score a goal, it just feels like momentum. And this crowd immediately got back into it. My watch popped up and said loud environment. So
I've turned that off for the day already.
Go up because every time this crowd gets going, it gets at least over 100 decibels in here, which is amazing. And you got to give a lot of props to the North Bay crowd. They've come out in droves, especially in the last 2 playoff rounds, almost pretty much sellouts every time. And if we go back to this game here, if the Battalion play the same way they played in that period, and the fact that Peterborough's given up 6 goals in their last 2 third periods, the track record is in favor of the Battalion right now. But again, you're playing a great goaltender in Michael Simpson. You are playing a great team. It'll be very interesting third period, I think, and don't count the Battalion out of it at all.
No, we talked about it in the first intermission, that next goal. Battalion do get that next goal, even though it being late in the period. Can they carry that momentum into the third and find a way back? They were down 3-1 in Game 4 down in Barrie. They were able to come back, win that game in double overtime. Anthony Romani was the hero then. He scores the first goal tonight. Do the Battalion have the firepower? We know they do. Can they do it with the momentum and have the crowd behind them?
I think so, because if you look at the opportunities they've had, it just feels, again, going back to that, they're a little bit slower. They're a little bit more tired. Again, the playoffs are a grueling thing. People always talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs being the most grueling playoffs in all of sports. And the OHL is the exact same format. You're still playing 7-game series. This is now their 3rd round. And again, the Battalion have played 3 games more than the Peterborough Petes. They had that extra game that they had to play against Barrie. They didn't get to practice a lot because their practices weren't super high intensity, because they had to focus on their health and their rest more than their actual play. And you could tell the big difference between the last 20 minutes and the first 20 minutes. And I expect to see the Battalion team that we're going to see for the rest of this series. I think that's the team you're going to see in the third period. I do think that the Battalion are going to come back.
I do so too. And you talk about that practice. They had to vacate this facility yesterday as they were getting the ice ready, and they even had to have a practice over at Pete Pelangio on a much smaller ice surface. So you can't get all that involved in a smaller surface and have a high intensity practice.
Exactly. And of course, they weren't able to play here because they were repainting the ice and they were putting all the great graphics. They did a great job here in the Gardens. And again, these are all the kind of the small things that we've talked about the Battalion during that second half of that season, going off to the slow starts in the first half of the game. And we're seeing the Battalion team as they should be. And even if the Battalion came out and they didn't play well and they ended up losing this game 3-0, I wouldn't say that has anything to do with the rest of the series. This is going to be a well-fought game. The Battalions still are better on paper. I think they're the better team overall. The question is, can they perform the way that they should perform? And I think in that second period, that's just a taste of what's to come.
I want to talk about the makeup of this Peterborough Petes team for a moment. Last year, they make a trade. Mason McTavish goes over to Hamilton for a boatload of picks. They basically flip all those picks that they got from Mason McTavish, knowing that they weren't going to make a run last year, and built a team this year that basically to go for a chance to take it all. They bring in players like Owen Beck, Brendan Othman that played with Team Canada that won gold at the World Juniors. You bring in kids with some championship experience in Gavin White, Avery Hayes. You add a couple other people, and you know what? They pick up Chase Stillman last year. The rumor is that they trade with the Sudbury Wolves for Chase Stillman and flip him immediately to the London Knights for a boatload of draft picks. Yep. That does not happen. Whether or not it was on purpose of not, I hear that Peterborough was excited to get Chase Stillman, who is a Peterborough native, so a local kid, knowing that he was having an opportunity to come back this year and really build a team around him. And how they did it. And it really looks strong. And they have goaltending, they have depth. And you know what? You put that all together and you got an OHL championship quality team. It took them a little bit to come together. They didn't see really the benefits early on after the trade deadline, but they're really seeing it now. The question was around how the dressing room would come together. But you know what? They're peaking right now, and this is a prime time to peak. And they're pushing for a championship, and that makes it an interesting series with the Battalion.
Again, you look at Peterborough and you say, did they accidentally fall into this final? Absolutely not. They've outplayed Sudbury. They outplayed Ottawa, which I don't think anybody saw that one coming. They were the better team in pretty much every game against the Ottawa 67s, which, and again, that's a 5-game series if they don't blow the lead in the third period in Game 5. So the Peterborough Petes are for real. Now, there are some glaring issues, I think, from the goal-scoring side where they don't have a lot of scoring from the back end. If you look at their D, only 2 goals coming from their defensemen, one from Gavin White, one from Brian Zanetti, who almost potted a goal back in that first period. Got very lucky as a puck jumped over, in the beginning of the second period on that power play where the puck just jumped over his stick, almost made things a 4-0 game. But I think that's kind of one of the things where you look at goal scoring from the back end, they don't quite have that, and they also don't quite have the depth scoring on that third or fourth line. We've seen Jonathan Melee get a goal here. We've seen Avon being really solid, but they don't quite have there's a couple of pieces that I think they could get even better. But if you look at the way the Peterborough Petes have done with the roster they have now, these are little nitpicky things that they could increase to just become a little bit better. At the end of the day, they're playing amazing hockey right now. And look, they're up 3-1 on the road in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They've deserved every bit of the success they've had. Yeah, the Petes looking to hang on in the third period and come out and get home ice advantage immediately after, if they can hold on to a Game 1 victory. Let's go back and look at our 2 players to watch that we looked at prior to tonight's game. And those players are brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
For the Petes tonight, we were looking at Avery Hayes, a product that came over from the Hamilton Bulldogs. Not on the score sheet, 1 shot on goal, and hasn't really been noticed out there on the ice at all for the Petes. And on the flip side, Kyle McDonald did take a penalty in the second period, kind of an unselfish call, looked a little upset, a -1 on the night. He's a player that can turn on a dime and really can be a difference in this third period.
I mean, we've seen how many goals has he scored this playoff, it seems, right? And he had a couple of good opportunities as well out there, as a lot of Battalion players did. Petrov's had 2 breakaways. You know, McDonald's had a couple of great opportunities. Romani and Wakely have both looked absolutely fantastic in that second period. Very fitting that they're the ones who kind of create that play, because again, they're on a line without any left winger right now. They're kind of rotating in between wherever they are. And at the end of the day, I think the Battalion had so many opportunities to score. They just haven't been able, and they were the better team in that second period. Like, if that was how they started this game out, I think we're looking at a different hockey game, but it's hard to dig yourself out of a hole when you don't play great out of the gate. It's something that's hurt the Battalion in the past. Again, not big deal when you're playing Niagara, playing Oshawa, playing some of these lower teams. But when you're playing against Michael Simpson, who had a very scary incident early on in that period as well, almost looked like he might have to leave the game. Fortunately for Peterborough, he stays in the game, as that would have been a huge loss. As Wakely was pushed into him, he goes awkwardly into the post. But at the end of the day, it's hard to find more past Simpson. The only thing the Battalion really have on their side right now, from a statistical standpoint, is that the Peterborough Petes have had trouble closing games out and have trouble putting, allowing a lot of goals in that third period. It's going to be a very interesting next 20 minutes.
Yeah, you talk about goals given up in the third period, and the Petes really have given up a lot of goals. They've been outscored in the third period 83-75, so they're known to give a lot of goals up, and hopefully the North Bay Battalion can take advantage of it. Physicality seem to be on the side of North Bay. Peterborough does not seem to be on the leading edge of delivering body hits, and that's one category we don't see on here is hits. And to me, the Battalion have to be outnumbering at least 2-1 for hits, and I think that's the way North Bay has to play and play a physical game and wear down the Peterborough Petes players.
Which, as you said, they've done in that second period. And if you look even physicality post-whistle, outside of Wakely getting, again, pushed into Simpson, and there was I think a play right after where someone got penalized, and then there was a play later on where Wakely kind of got in front of the net and was getting a little bit of a face wash. The Petes have not wanted to play, as you said, a very physical game, and I think that's the biggest difference that second period. We've seen guys get a lot more physical. We've seen the defense, the guys like the Christopouloses and the Mathurins and the Winslows really playing the body, especially up near the blue line as well in their offensive zone. So wearing them down has been a big thing in the Petes, and you've probably seen this a little bit more in between the benches. It does feel like the Battalion, the Petes speed-wise, very similar right now versus how they were in the first period.
Yeah, I definitely think the North Bay Battalion matched up a lot better speed-wise and were able to dominate a lot more of the neutral zone there in the second 20. But it is the Petes that have a 3-1 lead and looking to close out this first game, as this is game 1 of 7 of the Eastern Conference Championship Finals. From game 1 from Memorial Gardens, game 2 will be Sunday afternoon right here from Memorial Gardens. Also, you can catch it on the front line. Game time is 2 o'clock. Tune in for the pregame show starting at 1:50, but we still got at least 20 minutes to play here from Memorial Gardens in game 1. When we return, Matt Sukram will rejoin Ben Sargent with all of your third period action here as it's Pete's Battalion on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Welcome back, Matthew Sukram here alongside Ben Sargent. I want to say thank you to everyone watching on YouTube on the Frontline broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll get a notification anytime one of our broadcasts starts. I want to say hi to John Kane, Roger Beaulieu, Brenda Chartrand watching along, Dean McFarland, Braden Wrestling Alliance, Lauren, Richie, Warren, Hockey to Hell and Back. Bloom is online as well. We've got Mandy, Jay London, the Maritime Maniacs. We've also got some Pete's fans watching along. We hope you're enjoying it. The puck is dropped, and period number 3 is underway with the Battalion down by 2. Lukin from the blue line shoots it forward. It's off a body, and now the Pete's carry it forward. Beck over the blue line gets hit on the boards. It goes in behind the net, and it's picked up there by Lukin. He looks to get it out. It's blocked, but Van Steensel will follow the puck, and he will clear it down the left wing side. Going into the Pete zone, Tarasevic knocked away from the puck. That allows Stillman to get it, and he gets it to the line, but Lukin's there to block it, and he sends it to the far side corner. The Pete's immediately clear it. Picked up in the neutral zone by Van Steensel. He sends it down the ice, back into the Pete's end on the far side boards, to the line, to the left side. Winslow's there, fires it through the slot, up off the boards. Beck has it, and Beck will skate it up to the neutral zone and dump it down the ice. Icing will be called against Beck on that dump in. 19:04 remaining in the third. 3-1, Pete's lead.
Well, the Pete's had a huge first period, going up 3-0, really dominating the Battalion in the first period, all over them. They couldn't really get a lot of good opportunities away. The second period, different story. It's the Battalion who put so many good opportunities on Simpson, and finally it's Anthony Romani breaking the goose egg, making it 3-1. And right now, history's on the Battalion's side. In the last couple of games, the Pete's given up 6 goals in their last 2 third periods.
And right off the draw, the puck is smothered by the goaltender Simpson, and he'll hold on to it for the stoppage in play. 18:57 to go. It's a 3-1 lead for the Pete's.
We also talked about shots. The Battalion went into that second period with 9 shots. They come out of it with 24. So they put a lot of pucks by Simpson, and again, we talk about that momentum. If you're Peterborough, you're just trying to figure out how do we play a third period without allowing 3 goals.
Nelson fires it in, save made, Reno chance, scores! Zito on the doorstep, zips it by him, and all of a sudden it's a 1-goal game here in game 1.
Well, Matt, right on 2. We talked about how Peterborough struggled in the third period. Again, 6 goals in the last two third periods, and it's Pasquale Zito as Matvey Petrov giving it to the fans here as he is pumped up, and it's Zito. How about 6 goals for Pasquale Zito in these playoffs? He has been an unsung hero, quietly making his mark. He has been absolutely fantastic for the North Bay Battalion, especially in that Barrie series, and he continues it here to make this a 3-2 game, as of course with every goal, they need to review it to make sure it's all good.
The Pete's in the postseason have been outscored 11-8 in the third period, while the North Bay Battalion have outscored their opponents 14-12 in the third period. So the troops really putting the puck in the back of the net. Really, at any point in the game, they have 20 goals in second period of plays. They have 14 goals in first period of plays, not counting tonight's stat. But if you do count tonight's stat, that's their 15th goal in the third period. So the Battalion, they've made it a 1-goal game, and there's 18:38 to go in the third period of game 1.
And that's the key, getting that goal early on in the third period. A lot easier to score a goal now with so much time left.
Here comes Zito driving down the middle, but he's pushed to the outside. Puck goes to the far side boards. McDonald backhands it to the middle, but it's picked off by the Pete's, and it's Gavin White looking down the ice. Gavin White holding it. Now he will come up the middle. White looking down his right side boards. He will dump it in. Played behind the net. That is Robertson. He flips it back to the far side boards. A lot of speed on that puck. It comes up to the line. Kept in, and then a hard hit as Ertel runs into Gavin White. The puck comes up to the line. Bloom has it. He will skate down the ice with it. Bloom coming in, taking the shot. Save made as it's deflected into the corner. Picked up behind the goal line. Smith is there. He clears it out to the neutral zone with Dubois carrying it in, taking the shot on DiVincentis, and he stops it and holds on to it for the stoppage in play. 17:40 remaining in period number 3. 3-2 lead for the Pete's.
Well, Justin Ertel throws a huge hit so hard that he actually knocks himself over, but he hurts himself on that play as he's now on the bench with the trainer as he has his helmet off. And maybe got the wind knocked out of him potentially, but he definitely, right in front of his own bench, he was slow to get there. It looks like he might be kind of okay at this point as he puts his helmet back on, and we'll have to keep an eye and see if he misses any shifts.
Off the draw on the half boards, Bloom flips it up to the neutral zone, and it's brought down by Smith to the near side. They get it to the neutral zone, but they turn it over. Bloom coming in, and he tried to pass to the middle. That got blocked. North Bay recover the puck, send it to the half boards, but now quickly the Petes clear it out. 17:15 to go. Puck inside the neutral zone. North Bay in control of it. They're down by a goal. It's 3-2. Peterborough as the Battalion fire it in. Behind the net, Petes take over. Lockhart, who's got a couple of points tonight, including the third goal of the game, which right now is the most important one for the Petes as this game stands. It's up to Beck, and he dumps it in. It's into the corner. North Bay get the turnover, and they will skate out of the zone. Van Steensel leading the charge, flipping it in front of the net, but Romani just could not get a piece of it on the back check. A nice play there by Smith to break up that opportunity. Out to the neutral zone, Brostowski fires it back in with 16:30 to play. Picked up back there by Govro. The former Battalion clears it. In the neutral zone, Armsby trying to go forward. He gets blocked. It's back behind the Peterborough blue line. They send it forward. Now North Bay will pick up the loose puck, go the other way. Armsby to Wakely, and the shot is into the glove of Smith. Check that, Simpson, and he holds on to it for a stoppage in play. 16:15 remaining in the third period. 3-2, Pete's lead.
Well, Dallin Wakely continues to not be a well-liked player. If you're the Peterborough Petes, as of course he was the guy that was pushed into Simpson earlier on in that game, and every time it feels like there's any sort of post-whistle scrum, and it seems to always involve Dallin Wakely in the last period and a half. But again, the Battalion have continued to push. Shots now 29-19.
And off the draw, Wakely had an opportunity at the puck, but he lost control of it. And the Petes pick it up and send it down the ice. Nelson in the corner, lost it. Malik coming in. And he shoots it high. I think it went off the iron behind DiVincentis, but it goes off the boards, and now it's picked up by Van Steensel, and he will clear the zone and send it down the ice. Petrov and Nelson getting assists on the Zito goal. That brought this to a 3-2 game, and that's where we now stand. And some important stats on those assists by that pair. We'll tell you that on our next break as the puck is sent down the ice. That will be picked up by Stillman in front of his own goal line with 15:35 to play. Stillman bringing the puck forward down the right wing side. Gets stopped at the blue line as McDonald throws a hit, but then he turns the puck over, and it's sent towards DiVincentis wide of the net. Picked up behind the net by Hislop. Sends it around to the near side to Lukin. Lukin gets it to Petrov in the neutral zone. Passes across to the far side. McDonald took a hack at it. Beck blocked it. Beck coming in. Stops on the right side, the far side boards. Try to play it to the middle. That got blocked. And now McDonald will carry it out. Sending it down the left wing for Petrov. Petrov drops it back for McDonald. McDonald on the board, sends it behind the net to Petrov. Petrov coming out in front, going to the blue line, leaves it there for Lukin. Lukin down the right side, feeds it to the middle. McDonald shot, save made, rebound turned aside as well. And now there's a stretch pass down the ice. In on the breakaway of the shot, toe save made by DiVincentis as he stops a 50-goal scorer in Brennan Hoffman there.
A little lucky as Hoffman misplayed the puck a little bit. It went off his stick. So the Battalion catching a bit of a break as Hoffman was right behind both defenders.
And now Petrov coming back on the counterattack, puts it in front, save made, and the rebound steered away by the Peterborough Petes. They come out with 14:20 to play. They've got a 3-2 lead. It's Robertson coming into the zone, puts on the brakes along the goal line, sending it into the far side corner. Ertel is there to break up the play for North Bay, and he gets it to Winslow. Winslow sends it right back to the boards, but that's the Petes in the area, and they send it back behind the net. North Bay looking to recover the puck. They send it to the near side boards, and it's flipped up to the line, and it is cleared out of the zone. Now it's Jackson through the middle, over the blue line into the attacking end, finds Ertel, his shot blocked. Jackson recovers the puck, finds Ertel again, and his one-timer is deflected away by the goaltender Simpson. Picked up by the Petes on the near side boards. Poke check made, but they still get it out. Coming down the middle of the zone is Mali. He plays it in behind the net, picked up there by Christopoulos. 13:30 to go as Christopoulos will go to the far side to get it out to Bloom. Bloom lets it deflect off his stick as it's dumped down into the Pete's end. The Pete's lead 3-2 as they get it out quickly to the neutral zone. Stillman's there. He lost it. Tarasevic picks his pocket. Tarasevic coming in down the left side. Puts on the boards for Van Steensel. Back behind the net. Tarasevic up to the blue line. It's Nelson to the right side circle. Down below the goal line. North Bay still in control. Tarasevic dancing out of danger. He finds Arnsby. He carries it behind the net. Sets it up to Mathurin at the blue line. Taking the shot. Deflected just wide of the net. Now it's behind the net. Picked up on the corner by Van Steensel. To the line. Nelson. He shoots it. And it's wide. Picked up behind the net now by Arnsby. Looking to center it. And the Pete's break the play up. 12:40 to go. As the Pete's break out of the zone. Stillman dumps it in. And they still lead 3-2.
Well, so important that initial rush. It leaves the forwards too tired to make a good chance on DiVincentis, as both teams just have to change. That's what can happen when you put a lot of offensive pressure on a team. And
there hasn't been a whistle in about 4 minutes or so now, as play has just kept going here.
Doesn't make your job easy.
Lockhart sends it in. Blocker save made by DiVincentis. Punched out to the far side boards. The Pete's recover. They send it to the corner. Now they look to center it in the zone, but it's blocked by Jackson. And North Bay look to break out. They've got two men going into the zone. The pass at the line is off the body of Romani and inadvertently cleared over the blue line. The Pete's try to dump it down. Winslow blocks it. He carried forward, and then it's poked off his stick, dumped into the North Bay end. North Bay have players back there, and it's Christopoulos who carries it forward, gets it all the way up to the blue line with 11:40 to play in the period. Christopoulos sends it in the corner. It bounces around along the end boards. Govro is back there for the Pete's. He sends it to the near side, and the Pete's leading 3-2. Can't clear it. It's Christopoulos keeping it in, and his shot goes wide of the net into the corner and sent out by the Pete's, who will dump it down the ice, and there is an icing call. 11:24 to go in the third period. 3-2, Pete's lead.
Well, I think regardless of how this game pans out, if you're the Battalion, you have to be extremely happy going into game two, because, yeah, the first period didn't really go that well. They had that kind of that hangover. They were a little sluggish, but the last 30 minutes or so have been absolutely great from the Battalion. They've been all over the Peterborough Pete's. They've been out shooting them. They have been out playing them. They just have been the better team overall, and they've had the better scoring chances, and they could easily have put 5 or 6 by Simpson tonight if things kind of went more their way.
Off the draw, the Pete's send it down the ice. Nelson, who with that assist now has 29 postseason points, passing Matt Duchesne for 9th all-time on the list. Here's Bristowski right in the middle, and he sends it high. McDonald set up Bristowski right in the slot. No one around him, and he sends it just high, and it goes over the glass and out of play. 11:05 remaining in the third. 3-2 Pete's, but it was that close to the defenseman tying this one up.
Well, the Pete's have played so well defensively, and they make a miscue, leaving Brutowski wide open. Brutowski's had one heck of a game as well. He's been coming into the rush a little bit. He's been playing very good defensively. He's made very high hockey IQ plays when it comes to pinching and taking his opportunities. And he almost was rewarded with a game-tying goal there. He already had a goal in that Barrie series, a big one as well.
That's right, Bristowski did have a big goal in that Barrie series. He had 2 goals in the regular season, and then a big one in the postseason for his first postseason goal. North Bay brought the puck into the zone, got tripped up, and there's no call coming. You hear the Battalion fans wanting that one called, but it isn't going to happen. 10:35 to play as North Bay bring it back into the Peterborough end. It's sent to the near side boards. Hislop battling there for it. The Pete's get control and they send it out. They lead 3-2. With Lukin now at his own blue line. Sending it forward. Can't get to the stick of Romani. And the Pete's, Dubois, dumps it down to the North Bay end. Lockhart puts it on net. That one's turned away. Lockhart with a goal and an assist tonight. There's a hard hit on the far side. As Ertel again using his body to make some noise as he ran right in to J.R. Avon. Puck comes back into the neutral zone with 9:50 to play. Pete's ahead 3-0 as North Bay send the puck down into the Pete's zone. Bloom going in looking for control. It's got on the half boards, poked off his stick, and sent out to the neutral zone. J.R. Avon coming in. He gets knocked into the boards, lost puck possession, and North Bay get it to the neutral zone. They turn it over. It's sent back towards DiVincentis. He leaves it in front of his net. Now they send it down the ice. Bloom gets it at the blue line, and he dumps it in towards the end boards. Ertel is there behind the net. He gets knocked down. The puck comes around on the near side. Winslow pinching in, sends it to the corner to Jackson. He plays it behind the net to Ertel. He sends it out in front to Bloom. Bloom sends it to Winslow, firing it in, deflected wide of the net. In the corner, Govro there. He stays behind the net, looking to set it up to Robertson to carry it out, and he'll get around a defender, and he does get it out to the neutral zone. In fact, he'll carry it all the way to the blue line and chip it in. Robertson with 8:50 to play, looking to control it in the zone for the Petes. They lead 3-2, looking to add to it. Malee with a shot that's blocked by Van Sietzel. Another chance coming in. That goes just wide. Robertson picks it up at the side of the net. He's knocked down behind the net. Puck picked up there by Jackson. Jackson flips it back around to the near side to Winslow. And Winslow will carry it out of the zone with 8:20 to play in the third period in Game 1 here at Memorial Gardens. North Bay in the attacking zone. Here comes Mathurin putting it towards the net, and it's high off the glass. Tarasevic to the line. Nelson shot coming in, and it's stopped. The rebound goes into the slot, and the Petes are able to clear it out of the zone. Here comes Stillman. He gets poked off the puck on a beautiful play by Mathurin. He sends it down the ice to Van Sietzel. He comes in on side with Arnsby. Down low to Van Sietzel. Backhanded chance off the side of the net, and the net is knocked loose. 7:57 to go, and we'll take a break. The Petes lead 3-2 here in the third.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
Well, Derek.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
Well, Derek, the Battalion came out, did what they needed to do, made it a 1-goal game, just 1:11 into the third period, and they've really kept their foot on the pedal here through the later stages of this period.
Yeah, it's exactly what you needed if you're down 2. Come out early, get that goal, get the crowd into it. 38, just over 3,800 here tonight. They're loud, and they're going to help push the Battalion to try and get this back on level ground. Battalion need to start throwing everything at Michael Simpson, and hopefully they can get one, tie things up here, and hopefully either send it to extra time or get one late to take this Game 1. How vital is Game 1? Very important, and both teams know getting that first win is so important in this series, Matt.
Yeah, no doubt. The Petes obviously won Game 1 against the Sudbury Wolves, 4-2. They lost Game 1 against the Ottawa 67s by the same score, 4-2. North Bay beat Mississauga 5-1 in Game 1, but lost 3-2 in overtime to the Barrie Colts. So these two teams have had very similar postseasons, or identical postseasons when it comes to Game 1 so far in terms of the wins and losses. North Bay with the puck. Nelson firing it in, and that save is made by the netminder Simpson. It goes to the near side boards. Tarasevic can't hold it there. And the Petes get it out down the ice. DiVincentis out of his net. He plays it to the far side boards. Avon picks it up for Peterborough. He dumps it back towards the goal line. The only guy there is Nelson for North Bay. And with 7:25, he sends it to the near side boards to Brzezowski. He looks down the ice. He'll send it back to Nelson, who will carry it through the middle. Nelson over the red line and dumping it down. Battalion still looking for that equalizer. It's 3-2 for the Petes. They scored all 3 of their goals in the opening 20 minutes. There's a shot towards DiVincentis, and he turns it aside. Bloom up to the blue line. Turned over, the shot coming in, and Beck's shot just wide of the net. Play behind the North Bay net. It's up to Bloom at the boards now. Looking to get it out. He goes down the middle. Gets around the first wave of players. Gets over the blue line. Takes the shot, and it goes wide. They gave him a little bit of space in the middle, but he could not convert. Now out to the neutral zone. Winslow dumps it down the ice. Played behind the net by the goaltender Simpson and then sent to the far side and sent out of the zone. 6:20 to go in the third period. 3-2. North Bay trail. It's Robertson in the neutral zone. He flips it into the bench, and that'll cause a stoppage in play.
Again, it almost feels like the Battalion should have a better fate at this point. They're down 3-2, but I think this all goes again back to that first period. They didn't play that well. DiVincentis probably wants a couple of those goals back, and it's hard to come out of a 3-0 hole in 40 minutes against any team, really. And the Battalion are just one goal away, and they've had an opportunity.
Turnover in the zone. Here comes Petrov down the ice trying to take the shot, but he was trying to settle the puck down as he did it, and then he got a little piece of it, but he had, three guys on him there down the middle of the Pete zone, and now the Battalion iced the puck with 5:58 to play. They trail 3-2.
Battalion's just trying to tie it at this point, of course, and not a stranger to overtime. They found themselves in
That's
overtime
right.
3 times against Barrie, went 1-2, but that third overtime, which happened in Barrie, absolutely huge. It was game 4. It was Anthony Romani in double overtime with, in my opinion, and I said this on the podcast, kind of the TSN turning point of that series. If they come back to North Bay down 3-1, I don't know if they're coming out of that with a series win.
It would have been extremely hard, that's for sure. Romani with a big goal in that one. Romani also had a big goal in tonight's game, scoring the first for the Battalion near the end of the second period. They got another from Zito at the beginning of this period, but they trail 3-2 with 5:30 to play. Zito dumping it down, whipped around to the near side boards. Speaking of overtime, the Petes didn't see any of their games for the first 2 series go to overtime. The Petes recover the puck, and it's McCoy bringing it out. He dumps it down in behind the net. Mathurin and McCoy converge, and Mathurin gets out of that play with the puck. Every other Pete's player was behind the blue line. They let McCoy go all the way down into the zone by himself to try and take on, 3 Battalion players in the zone. But the Pete's just setting up that trap now. They're playing 1-1-3 back. The Battalion fans trying to encourage the Battalion to get going. Nelson tripped up in the middle of the ice, and that will be a call coming up against the Petes. It's so tough to stop Nelson when he's got speed like that, and when you get your stick in the wrong area, the officials are going to have to make that call. And the bonus is it's Owen Beck going off for the time being.
Both of us were looking at the lead referee saying nobody put a hand up on that pretty blatant rip, but it was the trailing referee who gets the call on that one. And this is going to be the moment of the game. 4:46 to go after this period. After this penalty, there will be 2:26 to go. Interesting, if you're Ryan Ulan, do you think of pulling DiVincentis here, giving yourself a 6-on-4? Might be something that they think about here. We'll see.
They are 14 for 49 on the power play in the postseason. Nelson, one-timer, and it's blocked by the goaltender Simpson. The puck comes back up to the line. It's Jackson to the right side. It's Petrov there. He drops it back to the blue line to Jackson. Walking to the circle, takes a shot. That goes wide. It's picked up by Nelson on the near side. Down low to McDonald. He skates it back up high and finds Petrov at the line. Over to Nelson. Can't get the shot off. Twisting, turning, sending it back across the zone to Petrov. At the blue line to Nelson. One-timer! And he goes for the 5-hole, but the goaltender Simpson shuts the door there. It's into the far side corner. Zito sends it back up high to Petrov. Across to Nelson. On his backhand, now he sends it across to Jackson. Jackson holding it there. Tries to feed it over to Petrov. It's a race towards the puck, and Petrov gets it. Finds Jackson again. In behind the net to Zito. Back to Jackson across the zone to Nelson. Nelson waits. Finds Jackson. Jackson back to Nelson. Holding the puck up high with 55 seconds remaining on the power play. Petrov, McDonald fires it just wide on the one-timer. He was right down low in the bottom of the circle, but could not converge there. And now it's sent out of the zone and down the ice. 40 seconds remaining on the North Bay power play. Owen Beck, who has 7 points in the postseason, is in the box. There's 3:20 to play in this game, and it's 3-2 for the Petes. Here comes Zito over the blue line at the half board, pushing it into the corner for Jackson. He flips it behind the net for Wakely, but then it's flipped off the stick and sent to the far side boards, and Avon is able to carry it out. Wakely on the back check gets it away from Avon, and North Bay come in the zone. Zito to the middle, coming down the ice, McDonald, his shot gets blocked as the Petes collapse in front of the net and block his opportunity, and now they send it down the ice. Steven Chentis way out of his net, plays it up to Wakely. Wakely onside, dumping it in, but Beck is out of the box, and we are back to 5-on-5 play. The Petes send it out to the neutral zone. Beck finds the loose puck, dumps it in. Christopoulos back there behind the net. He gets it over to Arnsby. Arnsby down to Van Steensel. Van Steensel overskates the puck on that pass, but now it's stuck on the near side boards. And Arnsby will recover the puck for North Bay. Plays it back behind his blue line to Christopoulos, and now over to Winslow with 2:20 to go in this game. Winslow up to the red line, dumps it down. Played on the far side half boards. Arnsby to line. Christopoulos shot comes in, and that's kicked off a skate into the far side corner. Picked up there by Beck. He finds Lockhart down the far side boards, and Lockhart will dump it down the ice. 2 minutes to go in this contest. 3-2, Pete's lead. Van Steensel with control over the blue line, gets some clearance on the right side, and now three members of the Petes are able to get the puck off of him. They get to line, but they can't clear. Zito had it there. He had no lane to go, so he turns back and sends it to the neutral zone. He finds Nelson behind the blue line. With 1:35 to go, he flips it to Petrov. Petrov coming in down the left wing side, stops on the boards. Now he sends it to the point to Bristowski. Steven Chentis has left the net. North Bay with control, looking to get the extra attacker out there. It's Bristowski on the near side boards. Down below the goal line to Zito. To the right side boards, it's Petrov. Up high to Nelson. Takes a shot. That save is made. Puck not clear. To the left side, McDonald. He gets stopped as Simpson robs him with the blocker save. Now it's McDonald across to the right side. It is Petrov there. He takes a big slapper. It's stopped. Now the pass goes to Nelson. That one stopped. It goes to the far side, and it gets cleared to the neutral zone. 1 minute to go. Pete's lead by a goal. North Bay dump the puck in. The Petes are able to clear it. Othman gets it up ahead to Beck. Beck has a lane to score, but he cannot bury it. It's wide of the net, and North Bay have a chance now. Zito down the right side to Jackson. Jackson gets stopped at the line, and it goes back out to the neutral zone. Play to the near side point, or to the near side blue line. North Bay are able to chip it in with 25 seconds to go. Puck in front of the net, but the Petes have control of it. Now they carry it behind the net, holding it on the end boards. Now they get to the side. A clearing attempt is stopped. A second opportunity is stopped. Zito keeping it in there. Zito gets tripped up. No call coming. North Bay in the neutral zone are able to get the puck away from the Petes. 5 seconds to go. The Petes will dump it down the ice. And game one of the Eastern Conference Finals is going to end up with a victory for the visiting side as the Petes take it 3-2 against the Battalion.
Well, Matt, if the Battalion play the way that they played in the last 40 minutes of that hockey game, they're going to make this a very hard series on the Petes. I think if they play the way that they played in that second period at the beginning of the game, I think this is a different hockey game altogether. The Petes came up to a 3-0 lead. Simpson with the save of the game late on McDonald, that's a big difference maker. But if you're the Battalion, you've got to be very happy with how you played in that final 40. That's the big takeaway. And yeah, you lost the first game, but there's 6 more to go. They've got to win 4. There's a lot of time left.
Absolutely. All right, the La Herda Imports post-game show coming up right after this. It's a pleasure to be bringing you tonight's game. Don't go away. We have more right here. And follow our social media channels, both our Facebook page and our Instagram. We will be carrying the post-game press conference. Ryan Olhan will speak to the media live, and we will have that for you on the Frontline Instagram and the Frontline Facebook page. So go ahead, like and subscribe to those pages, and you will get to see the post-game press conference from Ryan Olhan live. We'll take a break. You're watching the Frontline broadcast right here on YouTube, presented by Average Joe's.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
All right, and those 3 stars are Anthony Romani getting the 3rd star. He had a goal tonight, got the first goal of the game for the North Bay Battalion to get them on the board. His 5th of the postseason. Lockhart was the 2nd star of the game for the Peterborough Petes. He had the goal which ended up being the game-winning goal. That was his 6th of the season, came at 18-16 of the first period. He also assisted on Owen Beck's goal at 5:13 of the first period. And Simpson, who made, did he take it off the board? No, he made 37 saves en route to earning 1st star honors and another playoff victory for this 10th round pick of the Peterborough Petes. A phenomenal job, and like you said, making the save of the game. Could end up being the save of the series on Kyle McDonald down low on the power play near the end of that game.
Yeah, and again, Matt, you can't be upset about if you're a Battalion fan of this game because they outplayed them for 40 minutes of this hockey game. You have to remember that. They were the better team. They had 30 shots in 40 minutes versus the, by math, like 8 shots that
yeah, they managed
Peterborough
8 shots over the 3 in the second and 5 in the third period is what Peterborough managed.
You know that DiVincentis would love to have at least 2 of those 3 goals back. They were not that they were bad goals. It's just that DiVincentis is kind of a step above that. And he's saving those shots probably 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I agree.
So he probably would have liked to have those back. And at the end of the day, if I'm Ryan Houlihan, my message to the team is the way you played in the second and third, play like that for the rest of the series. This could be a 5-game series at that point because they played that much better than Peterborough in that time. Again, 5 shots versus 30 shots, more opportunities. The bounces just didn't go the Battalion way. And the big thing is they have to understand that Michael Simpson can be beaten. And I think a lot of the times it was more the Battalion working against themselves more than Peterborough playing very well on their end. So you got to be very excited about the rest of the series, I think, if they continue to play that same style of hockey.
Absolutely, and we will have the rest of the series for you right here on the Frontline broadcast. We do have plans to go down to Peterborough to call games 3 and 4. So if you enjoyed tonight's game, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe right here on our YouTube page and follow all our social media so you can stay up to date on what we are doing around the Frontline broadcast. Again, thank you to everyone for joining in. Appreciate all the kudos that we're getting here on the chat group as well. All right, so what do you... before we wrap up, what is your take going into Game 2 now? Obviously, if you're Ryan Houlihan, carry that 40 minutes over into the next one. Anything other than that you think that the Battalion could capitalize on going into Game 2? I think
a lot of it was just their passing was not as crisp as I think it could have been. They had a lot of opportunities that just kind of jumped over their stick. A lot of that's luck. A lot of that's... Again, they've played a lot of hockey in a very short amount of time. They played 3 more games than Peterborough coming into the series, and you could see as the game went on, they got better. I just think you play that same style of game. If you're Peterborough, on the other hand, they got to be more physical. They've got to throw the body around more. They've got to kind of rock the Battalion, I think they got a gift in that first period, and to be fair, they capitalized on it, but it's going to be a tough series for them, I think, for the rest of the way. But who knows? That's the beauty of playoff hockey. Anything can happen, and they still need to win at least 3 more.
Absolutely. All right, for Ben Long doing the production tonight, for Derek Lindemann hosting, and for Ben Sargent on color, I'm Matthew Sucrum. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember, we will have Ryan Olahan's post-game press conference comments on our social media channels. Go to the Facebook page, go to the Instagram, and follow it, and then you'll get a notification when we go live. So until Sunday afternoon for Game 2, we're going to sign off. It's been a pleasure bringing you this one. Have a great night, and thanks so much for tuning in.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.